And we're live. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. Gather. One man went to Mo. You know it's that time. One man went to Mo. Gather. Come join. Roll up. One man went to Mo. Went to Mo Meadow. Went to Mo Meadow, I should say. Roll up, gather. Say hello as you're coming in. One man went to Mo. Gather. Come join. Sit. Come, Madame et Monsieur. One man went to Mo. Where are you people? You know the time. You know how we do it. One man went to Mo. Gather. The hyperlink that you can see on the screen is to have you come live on stream to come interact with the session directly if you're so inclined. So gather, come in, say hello. Matters arising. We're still cutting the tail end of our Ada Jesus. So we're going through that narrative, the backlash and the fallout from that. So that is what we're starting with. And NNAMDI, of course, comes out to alarm that it is Buhari that is sponsoring insecurity in the southeast. So we are discussing that as well. He also lashes out at Abia State Governor, giving him a 14 days ultimatum. So NNAMDI giving the Abia State Governor 14 days ultimatum. But why has he given that ultimatum? We'll be discussing that as well. And the Yoruba group is applauding the United Kingdom for opening that window of asylum for Ipob members. So we'll be discussing that as well. So all matters pertaining, matters arising, come in, sit down, say hello, and let us begin. Click on the hyperlink if you want to engage directly. So shall we just set off, because we do have sufficient enough numbers of people in here. So gather, come in, take a seat. The hyperlink is there, as I said. So if you click on that, then you come straight on the screen to interact with the session. One more way to know. You know how it goes. 10:30 p.m. UK time every single day for the whole of this month. We only have about, 6-7 days left. So yeah, one more way to know. So let's get straight into it. And we're going to this tail end, or rather the fallout from the Ada Jesus incident that happened yesterday. The backlash of it, of course, coming thick and fast. And the protagonist, as we know, are Rita Edochie, and of course, the now deceased Ada Jesus. So the backlash, actress Rita Edochie reacts after angry Nigerians attack her over Ada Jesus' demise. So that is the headline that we're starting off with. Actress Rita Edochie reacts after angry Nigerians attacked her over Ada Jesus' demise. So now let's now see what's going on here. Veteran Nollywood actress Rita Edochie has reacted to the numerous backlash she received after ailing comedian Ada Jesus died yesterday, the 21st of April. Correspondents recall that Nollywood actress Rita Edochie was amongst persons Ada Jesus sought forgiveness from before her death. The actress had earlier condemned the ailing comedian to death for speaking ill of her and her reputation, but finally forgave her after an outcry ensued. However, after the death of the comedian, angry Nigerians stormed the veteran actress's social media pages, raining curses and swears on her and her family for her wickedness and unforgiving heart. The actress has, however, reacted to the heaps of curse attacks rained on her and her family, sharing a video of American rapper Kanye West singing one of his hit songs, Jesus Walks, on a plane with some choir. Rita captioned it, "Jesus is Lord forever. Lord Almighty made me a strong woman, and I will remain. The seed cannot be killed." So this is her response, remaining defiant all the way through. Correspondents reported earlier that the popular Nigerian comedian Ada Jesus has died a few days after she marked her birthday on the hospital bed. Ada Jesus, whose real name is Mercy Cynthia Guinea Kawa, died of kidney failure at an Abuja hospital where she had been receiving treatment. She died at the age of 24, having been born on the 19th of February, 1997. So there you are. She continues to remain defiant, of course. This Rita Edochie, despite what has happened now to this young lady. So that is the opening salvo that we're starting off with. I'll say hello, as I said, as you're coming in, and let us just to be civil and for us to get to know each other. And of course, click on the hyperlink to come and join me live on screen if you're so inclined. So we stay with that Ada Jesus Rita Edochie pardon me, headline as we go on to the Ada Jesus Rita Edochie narrative. As we go on to another headline, Rita Edochie finally speaks after the death of Ada Jesus. Nigerians react. So let's see if she adds on to the first narration. Nollywood actress Rita Edochie, one of the persons late Ada Jesus had an issue with before her demise on Wednesday, finally made a post on her social media page hours after Ada Jesus was announced dead by an activist, harassing Gwamnishu, who led a group of Nigerians that took her to hospital. The entertainer, whose real name is Mensoma Mercy Obi, died in Abuja hospital. So that is the second name that we're getting for her at actually. So it's M-M-E-S-O-M-A Mercy Obi. That is the name that they are claiming is her real name in this piece. Well, I could have sworn that her real name was a different name under the first one that we read. So let's just see whatever her real name is. Her real name is Mercy something, but certainly that is a different name from the name that they just gave us. So Mercy Cynthia Guinea Kaingwa is the name that they gave in the first piece. So whatever her name is, she has passed on. The entertainer, whose real name is Mercy Obi, died in Abuja hospital after battling kidney disease for about a year. Social media users have reacted differently to the post made by the well-respected veteran Nollywood actress Rita Edochie after the death of the comedian. Recall that Ada Jesus came out to allege that the man of God, Prophet Odumeje, and Nollywood actress Rita Edochie connived and faked the miracles that happened in the church of the prophet. According to the reports, the comedian allegedly spoke ill of the actress as well as others some months ago. So let me just see what you guys are saying in the comment section before. Yes, hello, Ajibade. So yes, say hello as you are coming in. There are what, 15, 20 people in here, and only Ajibade has even deemed it necessary to at least say hello. So you can at least say hello. Initially, Rita Edochie insisted that she wasn't going to forgive Ada Jesus, but later bowed to public pressure and forgave her. The death of Ada Jesus came a few days after Rita Edochie and Prophet Odumeje forgave her. No comment on the death of Ada Jesus. Rita Edochie took to her Instagram page to post Rita Edochie took to her Instagram page to post a caption captioned, "In Jesus I stand. I pity you that do not know." So that is her response. It looks as though she still continues to be defiant. In another post on her page, she said, "Jesus is Lord forever. Lord Almighty made me a strong woman, and that will remain. The seed shall not be killed." So that is her response still. Just note of her defiance all the way through. And of course, you can expect our people to respond to this. The post from the actress has attracted mixed reactions on social media. So here is just a sample of some of the responses. This is Stanley. Madam, as a mother, you are this is not the right time for celebration because death is inevitable. It's a task everyone must pay. So that is what Stanley has to say. Gilbert, instead of keeping quiet for a while, you are here provoking some people indirectly. God knows the best. Whatever one soweth, he or she will reap it. So that is the response. And this woman, she will suffer a heavy backlash for this. Emma, from the looks of things, you are indeed celebrating. Where were all these videos before now? Even in her death, all you could offer is celebration. No be this world we dey, 6 feet they wait for everybody last. So this is now people, so the backlash will be heavy. So here is still another response. I don't understand the level of hypocrisy in this country. Is this woman the reason why Ada Jesus passed on? She had developed this kidney disease for a year now and didn't stay out of what was required for her. Human beings should stop attaching her death to Rita. She is gone and we are sad over her demise. The most important thing is to keep praying for her soul and hoping peace was made with God and with all before her demise. Eternal rest grant unto her, O Lord, and let thy perpetual light shine upon her in her rest. So this is this person now saying that the attribution is really unnecessary and unkind, and I don't really think anybody is especially attributing the death of Ada Jesus to Rita Edochie. No, but people are saying it is inelegant, the tone and texture of her public pronouncements just a day after this girl had passed on, haven't rained curses on this girl and haven't been forced by public opinion to issue an unfelt forgiveness to this girl, and this girl now passing on after, and she's now making what will sound like a celebratory noises on our social media pages. So inelegant behavior at best, but I don't really think the attribution of her death is being laid upon this woman. So Ilo says hello. She is defiant because it is Nigeria. Yes, I can see that what you're saying, Ilo, that that might well be that might well be where that defiance is coming from. But I agree with the comment that she should have just kept her head down and laid low for a while and just let matters settle. Not immediate, not the day after this girl passed on, and you're straight on the internet whooping and hollering as though you just won a lottery ticket. It's just inelegant and unsightly behavior. That is my take, but what is yours? Leave comments there or come join me on the screen to come engage. You know, it's usually the interactions that we look forward to on this channel. Gladdy is the next person up. The Ada Jesus lady caused so much damage to this woman's reputation she built for years. Those of you saying trash about her are some that haven't spoken to their friends for decades or because of a man. Until you experience image tarnishing that almost cost you your family career and sanity, you won't understand what this woman is going through. We process hurt differently. It's just like a woman who was RAPED and beaten by a man, and the man comes back tomorrow to say, I'm sorry, and you expect the woman to hug him and say, I forgive you. The sight of such a person brings back memories and triggers anger. We are all human, and no one reprimanded Ada when she insulted and accused a woman old enough to be her mother, but we are all here trying to turn the table and blame the victim and uphold the villain, all because she is sick. Let the woman be. until you are in her shoes, you have no right to judge her. So that is what Gladys has to say. One of the responses to not Ada Jesus, because she has passed on, but rather to Rita Edochie's almost celebratory pronouncements on social media, chanting and hollering and hallelujahing a day after this girl had passed on. So Abel is the next person to chime in. We won't forget that Rita Edochie told Ada Jesus that she won't come out of the illness, and that if she comes out of it, that means it wasn't her that is involved in the fight. She and her pastor took full responsibility for her predicament. I am done with the church, I swear. So you being done with the church is your personal decision, but then of course, Odumeje is nothing to do with any church. It's an entertainer. It's an entertainer and a show businessman. So if you are saying you're done with the church off the back of the antics of Odumeje, then perhaps you don't even belong in the church in the first place. Because if Odumeje is your idea of a church, then you're completely thoroughly misguided. So come join in the yes, make comments and click on the hyperlink, especially, it's the interaction that we especially love to have on this channel. So come join, let me know what you're thinking. Let's just round this particular piece up. People responding to Rita Edochie, making celebratory noises on our social media pages just a day after the demise of Ada Jesus. So Utaka is the next person responding to Rita Edochie within that space. We need to go to school even if we didn't graduate. Rita Edochie is innocent. So Uche chimes in, how does this relate to her death? This is what Patrick has to say. The very first time I saw you at St. Mary's Catholic Church, Aqua Road, Onisha, during my secondary school days, I loved you. I was so happy to see you. You are one of my favorites, but now I so hate you with everything that's in me. I never believed it until I saw the video where you were laying curses on a sick person. You went too far, ma. She is dead now. I hope you are happy now. So that is what Patrick has to say, going back to history to chart his relationship with this famous actress, once a fan, but a fan no more. Sage6ix is the next commentator. For your mind, God killed that girl and you are literally celebrating her death. Shame on you. Shake my head. Sometimes I wonder if Nigerian Christians actually read the Bible. You do not know God. So these are just some of the responses coming out of just back and forth, really, in relation to Ada Jesus, Rita Edochie, and yet we've not gotten onto the backlash against in the Boski, the Babrisky, the Meiji. So life is not fun, it is warfare. Edochie finally reacts to Ada Jesus' death. Fans condemn her. So it looks as though it's still the note of defiance that we're hearing from Rita Edochie. So we've got John up. Hello, John.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm fine.
Yeah, are you especially following the narrative of Rita Edochie, Ada Jesus, Odumeje, and that triangle with this young girl sadly now passed on off the back of kidney failure? Are you following any of that, or is that just too frivolous for you?
No, I'm following everything. I try to go into the internet or social media and then start to see, being a Nigerian, I like to dig into Nigerians' affair and see what's going on every day. Yeah. So I've been following that Jesus, not even when the season was serious, when he was yapping, saying everything, and so on and so forth. So I've been following the issue. The point here is not who killed her or what. Yes, why people start challenging Odumeje and Rita, okay, is what they said from their mouth, not that people is actually blaming them for the death of the girl, but the causes they lay on somebody who is almost a vegetable. That's what makes people get mad. Okay?
I think it's also inelegant of Rita Edochie to even come out at all in the social media space. Even she should just go to her village and just keep quiet, just keep her head away for a while. And you know, a person of that maturity and intelligence, you'd expect a bit more elegance from her, but she's almost in a celebratory tone coming out on social media, chanting and hallelujahing effectively, which is completely crass and crude behavior.
Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. So after the backlash or the insult people gave, you know, now the girl just died. Just less than 24 hours, you come with a type of publication telling you that the seed that God have planted will not be broken, that the Lord is... No, you don't do such thing. That is, you are actually indirectly telling people that you are involved in her death. That is what that says. Anyway, there's one lady that you read about. Is a lady, I think it's a lady that you read about. Is her comment saying that
Yes.
if you are in the shoe of Rita, how he tried to destroy the family of Rita or destroy the career of Rita Edochie. So if we were in the shoe, we do the same thing or similar thing, right? But my question to the girl is: Ada Jesus an outsider? No. So she's an insider. She knew what was going on inside that church. Okay? What they said, the girl was there for just 1 year before she left. You think, you reason as a human being. How can somebody come to a church within a year? You become so friendly, you become so intimate. Yeah, everything you do with this girl. You mean there's no 24 years or 23 years in your church for the past 5 years or 7 years? That's where the question lies. This girl just came, he became your best friend, that's Rita Edochie, and she became the best friend of the pastor, Odumeje. Is she the only one? So the girl, even though she said what she said, there's some truth in what she said.
Of course, you see the thing is, John, saying that a Nigerian pastor is faking miracles is not anything outrageous. I don't think any of us is of any thought other than they are faking miracles. Of course, we all know that they are faking. We know because it's been exposed over and over and over and over and over again. There are countless videos out there of people that were... There was one video of one woman one time that was making the rounds about 12 months ago. This woman, she has some arm that is a bit oddly shaped. Right. So she was going around all these churches, and one pastor will claim that she has cured that hand because that hand, it acts up. Sometimes it will shrink in itself, and sometimes it will stretch by itself. So she will go, they will claim that they did that miracle for her in one church. They'll pay her whatever 10, 20, 40,000 naira, and then off she goes, and then she's off to the next church. She was telling everybody that this is what is going on. We all know TB Joshua was kicked off YouTube for all these fake miracles. We all know. So her saying that Odumeje is doing fake miracles is nothing outrageous. I don't think anybody thinks otherwise. We all know that. Of course, what is he doing other than fake miracles? Is he God? Of course, don't be silly. We all know that Odumeje is doing fake miracles. So Ada Jesus saying it is not anything so outrageous that they will be weighed upon her this heavily, because every other pastor, they just ignore it and let it fade away because they know that they're doing fake miracles. So it's just ridiculous. But now look at the thing. They've rained curses on the girl. Now she has passed away. So now that causes, even though we all know that it was a medical ailment that took that girl's life, that causes that they rained upon her is going to be attached to that girl's death. And forever almost, people will always associate their names with that death, because there are people that are gullible enough within the Nigerian space not to take into account the medical condition of that girl and just say that they just caused her to death and all of that. So this is where we are. John, what says you?
Yeah, no, you are right. Okay, you are very right. Even though that what happened to the girl is medical, he has some medical conditions. Okay, but because they come and lay curses upon the girl, people will associate the illness with what they said. That is the truth. The point is why people are going against Rita is not that Rita actually did something wrong, okay? But it's just the way she comported herself during the sickness and when the girl died. That is it, okay? So the point, I was listening to one lady too, holding this information about who is at that to bring a man to start giving men to Rita Edochie, you know. So I got that one of the information I had that she was giving men to Rita Edochie. So in that case, the girl may have done that. I remember when we were younger in primary school. You see, I talk with experience. We have boys in those days, in the 60s. They will be in class 4, class 5. You know, in those days, Nigeria were deeply cultural, not like today. Okay, but
John,
yeah. Before I finish, the guys will now give us a letter to go and give some of those girls.
Yes.
So when we are there, the parents of the girls don't know why we are there. We are too young. They don't think of anything. They don't suspect us, but they don't know that we are the middleman between the boys and the daughters. Okay, so it's possible that this guy is doing that thing for Rita Edochie, so we can.
Okay, we'll come and discuss that some more. But we have Ajibade joining us, so let's just acknowledge Ajibade, and then we carry on with the conversation. So Ajibade, unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and tell us what you're making of the conversation so far. Ajibade, unmute yourself and introduce yourself and tell us. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Are you there? I can hear rumblings in the background. Did you want to contribute to the session? Ajibade? Okay. It looks as though Ajibade is undecided on what he or she wants to do. So we just go on straight to the next story. The next story is to do with, again, the Nigerian political space and, of course, the recurring decimals there, NNAMDI Kanu and Buhari. Buhari government sponsoring insecurity in the southeast. So this is something that NNAMDI Kanu has been drumming the beats of for a while now, and he regurgitates it again in this instance. Let's see what is using to back it up. Buhari government sponsoring insecurity in the southeast. Headline attributed to NNAMDI Kanu. So let's now see if there's any substance to this. NNAMDI Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, has identified those behind insecurity in the southern part of the country. Kanu accused the president, Muhammadu Buhari-led government, of sponsoring insecurity in the region. He claimed that the move was to pave way for the military to invade the southeast and kill more people. Speaking through the spokesman of Ipob, Emma Powerful, Kanu urged the federal government to focus more on crushing bandits and terrorists. A statement by Powerful reads partly, "Nothing can change our resolve to free Biafra from the Nigerian bondage. No amount of propaganda by government can make us change our mind. In case the presidency don't know, Biafra is more imminent than they think. The night is far spent and the new dawn is almost here with the rising sun of our great nation at the threshold. The threat by the presidency to order military operation to crush the animals disturbing the peace in the southeast has simply confirmed our alarm all the while. that the federal government is the one sponsoring the escalating insecurity in the zone to provide an excuse for another military operation to kill more innocent Biafrans. It is only unfortunate that the political elite, for their selfish interest, have failed to realize this. But we ask the presidency to first crush the bandits and terrorists overrunning the entire northern and middle belt before embarking on any military operation in the southeast. Otherwise, they may have to prepare very well. So that is a kind of rather bombasting and lambasting, as he often does. I don't really see that there's any killer information in this other than just speculations and aspersions. But we go on to the second Kanu headline, because it's a two-part Kanu headline that we have for this particular session. NNAMDI Kanu gives Abia governor 14 days ultimatum to arrest police officer for extrajudicial killing. So Kanu is in effect positioning himself as the sub-regional leader of the Igbo space, because he's very quick to issue this fias to sitting governors within his space, within the Biafran space, or what he deems to be the Biafran space, instructing them in that his usual cascading manner to oblige and to obey and act accordingly as per his directives. So his directives again, NNAMDI Kanu gives Abia governor 14 days ultimatum to arrest police officer for extrajudicial killings. So now let's now see what instructions he's given to Abia State. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, NNAMDI Kanu, on Thursday, gave the Abia State governor, Okezi Apazu, a 14-day ultimatum to arrest and prosecute the new Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG, in charge of Zone 9, Etim Ene Okon, for extrajudicial killing. Kanu made the call in a live broadcast on Twitter, alleging that the AIG was responsible for the death of his father, mother, and 28 Biafrans who died during a raid on his residence on September the 14th, 2017. So we pause there for a moment, because that was, of course, a momentous day for the Kanu family, Operation Python Dance, and we also saw how that played out. They had to scale Kanu through the back fence. They had to literally throw him through the back fence. I think he had some shrapnel wounds in the course of all that, and they had to bundle him and use the back passages of Nigeria. This is one of the times that I'm sure people were thankful that Nigeria's borders are so porous, and they have to drive him all the way through the forestry to those back alleys out of the country, or ultimately to Europe or wherever he is now. So he's going back to that time now, and is again referencing that and demanding justice. So the Inspector General of Police at that time, or AIG as is describing, is the person that he is asking for the arrest of. I'm not quite sure if this person is a female. Etim Enen Okon is the name. So why, quite why though he's referencing this at this point in time is not what is clear yet. It's not what I'm clear on, because of course this incident happened on September the 14th, 2017, and this is not like an anniversary of that incident, and there is nothing that really acknowledges that incident at this particular point in time for him to come out with this particular pronouncement. But perhaps in the course of this narration, we'll find out. We take it from the top of that paragraph again. Kanu, who made the call in a live broadcast on Twitter, alleged that the AIG who was responsible for the death of his father, mother, and 28 Biafrans who died during a raid on his residence on September the 14th, 2017. So that is the Okon. He accused Apazu of bringing, okay, so now this is now why he's now making that pronouncement. So this is what has occurred to have led to that. So he accused Apazu of bringing back Okon to kidnap and terrorize more Biafrans. Okon on Wednesday threatened to deal ruthlessly with hoodlums and unknown gunmen behind the wave of attacks on security formations in the southeast. He said, we will strategically confront hoodlums. We will go back to those days when Abia was hell for criminals. The zone is not new to me. The hoodlums in the state know what I can do. As a supervisor of 3 states, I will expand the strategies I adopted as the CP of Abia State to cover this zone. At this time, we are having bombings, arsons, and kidnappings, including killings of policemen and burnings of stations. We shall use the strategy to stem the tide. However, in his reaction to the AIG's comments, Kanu said he was referring to Biafrans as hoodlums in the state. He said, we are going into a very different phase in our agitation. We might have to bring our madness to the fore so that they would understand how serious we are. This man, we are going to find him and set an example with him. His name is Etim NNAMDI, the AIG of Zone 9. We will find him and his family. We will find him, and wherever we see him, he's going to DIE. This was the man that killed my parents. He was the same man that instigated the raid in my house on September the 14th that led to the death of 28 innocent Biafrans, and they have brought him back. This is the time to DIE for what we believe in, so that prosperity may remember us. So that, I'm not even going to say DIE. Die is die, isn't it? So this is the time to die for what we believe in, so that posterity may remember us. So, of course, continue to remember that Nnamdi Kanu is safely cocooned in the United Kingdom, surrounded by security services, because Nnamdi Kanu, you have to understand, is deemed within the British space as a high-risk, high-profile sort of a person. And the last thing, even just for reputational reasons, the last thing that the British will allow is for a single thing to happen to that guy what is on the shores of Britain. So it's totally and thoroughly protected, both by the British services and by, of course, his own security provisions. So he's totally insulated, but of course now he's now telling the people within that space to go wage against these people at risk of their lives. So this is his exact words. This is the time to die for what we believe in, whilst you are insulated in the United Kingdom, so that posterity may remember us. Unless he is relieved from his duty within 14 days and prosecuted for the manslaughter in my house on September the 14th, 2017, if Okeze Akpazu does not remove this man and allow him to abduct any soul from Umahia again, I assure him that hell and brimstone will reign in Umahia. So that is the tom-thumping, tom-chanting, chest-beating, usual whooplers that we tend to hear from Nnamdi Kanu. So that's the second narration, in addition to the, oh, hello, Isaac. So we're going through the list. Anybody that wants to join or come join John on the screen, and then please feel free to do that. We had Adibade, but he came on or she came on, but we never heard the word. John, were you listening to any of that, and what are you making of it? Hello, John.
Yes, I was listening to those things. You know, the question here is, how will who you claim to be your enemy to go and arrest?
No, just two elements first. Kanu, one is listing Buhari as sponsoring insecurity within the southeastern regions, but he did not really say anything evidentially to back that up. But particularly with the Abia State thing, is narrowing on that Inspector General or CP or whatever, that person that has now been assigned to that zone, and of course saying that this was the person that was in charge when his family was waited upon, They did not actually kill his parents, I don't think, during that raid, but it was off the back of the trauma of that incident, of course, that led to the demise of his parents. So it's lumping it all together. What are you making of it?
Yeah, no, what I'm just saying is, still because Bazo should remove the man or arrest the man. That was I heard. The question is, you people, not you particularly, but IPOB have been accusing Southeast governors, okay, as a Fulani slaves. Now you are telling a Fulani slave to go and arrest another Fulani slave. That's impossible. That cannot work. You understand what I mean? So if you want to prosecute the Nigerian police, you look for another avenue, another arena to do that. For telling a sitting governor that you have accused, you have caused, you have insulted, to go and arrest a top or high-ranking Nigerian police will not be possible. So sometimes I think, I don't know how some people reason. Okay.
You see, what usually amuses me, I wouldn't say amuses me, but it just befuddles me somewhat, is all these so-called ultimatums that is given. So, of course, the 14 days will pass, and of course, the governor of Abia State will not be removing anyone.
Exactly.
For least of which reason that it's not even in his purview to remove that person, because that person was sent there by the Nigerian police, exactly. So that person will remain there. So what then happens after that 14 days is the question. Is it then going to reissue another 14 days ultimatum? Or I mean, it's just these things, you know. Sometimes these sound bites, you know, it echoes with the people, because I'm not saying this as a general statement, and please disagree with me if you think this is misguided. But I feel that a lot of the following, a good at least 60 to 70% of the following of that movement, they are artisans, they are people in the, I won't say they are lower rank people within society, but people that are easily led. People that have been frustrated by the situation that they find themselves within the Nigerian space. So your organizers, your traders, your bus drivers, and etc. This I feel is the vast majority of the followings of that movement. And in NNAMDI Kanu, they find an articulation that they feel expresses their frustration, and it can just say anything, and they will say, yes, hail you, master, and off they go. You know. So Ajibade, have you sorted out the gremlins? Ajibade?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello. How are you? Introduce yourself and tell us where you stand.
Yeah. Yeah. My name is Ajibade. I'm based in UK. First, I don't know. Maybe I can go back to the previous conversation, or should I just continue with this?
No, carry on. Yes, everything is up for discussion. So, share. Just tell us what your thoughts are.
Okay. Yeah, my thought is on the previous one about the other decisions and stuff like that. You know, sometimes maturity does not lies on the age. You know, sometimes because I watched the video on the about when they carried the lady to the church, you know, I felt so very bad, you know, saying that, you know, that woman who supposed to be a role model, and you know, lost the control, you know, and she started talking, you know, on the talking, you know, swearing for that lady. You know, no matter what the lady have done, it shouldn't have got to that stage. I'm sure by now she will be regretting for her action, you know, for doing that. But unfortunately, for her to be rejoicing or coming now online again and be, you know, responding to people, you know, that shows a matter of how should I say?
Jibade, you know what I think? I think
Yeah.
she's overrun with the emotions of the film. You know, because from the way she was cussing at that girl in the first instance, you can see that Rita Edochie is somebody that is led by emotion. She's easily riled up, and she leads with the, she's very instinctual sort of a person. So I don't know her personally, it's just really from the littles that we're gathering. So she's a very instinctual sort of a person, and the sort of person that responds immediately on first instincts and does not really pause for a moment to consider and then reflect on a better response. Because of course, I mean, look at the girl died yesterday, and you are immediately, whatever it is that you have to say, even though may her soul rest in peace or whatever, other than may her soul rest in peace, you should not really be making any comments for at least a week or two, and let matters die down, and then go to the family and go and pray with the mother, so that you go to, you know, use a bit of brain, not whooping and hollering on the media like some Humpty Dumpty from wherever. Go on, Jibade.
Yeah, she lacked maturity. You know, she could basically she could just off internet for like a month or 2 months, just go off and let all the sleeping wherever lies and forget about the OT before she come back. You know, she's I believe by now she should be ashamed of herself. Her name will never, you know, people will keep on measuring her name attached to the death of Father Jesus or something like that. So I mean, this will sound a lesson to other people as well who normally put their emotion on their, you know, that they can't control their emotion. So the thing could have gone, that just could have just, you know, what happened now will still happen irrespective of whatever she said or something like that, you know. But now that thing is now attached to her name, and that stigma will ever be with her for life, you know.
And the other thing is, you know, somebody, you know, there's always somebody that is always caught with a bag anytime that something goes wrong. Rita Edochie is going to be caught with a bag on this one, because Odemeje, he has enough of a following and big enough of a personality to just ride it out. Another thing will happen and his name will carry on. But this Rita Edochie, and he's going to at some point just dump Rita Edochie and just pack her that she's too toxic now. So she would then be in that loop that in every interaction and every conversation that she has now. Imagine if she ever makes a movie again and she's trying to sell it and go around all these studios, the first conversation that they want to have with her is Ada Jesus. So she'll forever be having conversations about that girl and defending her position and continue to speak on it. So this she's just mismanaged it. But as I said, this is just my guesstimation. She's one of those sort of people that is easily led by emotion. Hold your thought, Jibade. I still want to hear more from you, but let's hear from Speak TR2. So speak.
Hi, Speak Truth here.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I always listen to your messages. They're wonderful. Like, I always make my comment on your messages on YouTube, and I'm so
brilliant.
happy.
Well
yes,
done.
I'm so happy I'm able to get into this, because I don't know how to do this. This is like my first time of getting into this whole thing. I hope my face is not sorry, right?
No, you're doing very well. Actually, I'm especially pleased to hear from you. Do you want to know why? I've been doing this live streaming now for going on 2 weeks. I have endless of people coming on stream, but the one call that I've been calling for is a female voice. So we had our first female voice yesterday, which was a Kenyan lady from Saudi Arabia. So now you are our second one. So the floor is yours. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're making of the conversation so far.
All right. My name is Joy. I'm a Nigerian living in the US. So I just go by Speak Truth. If you have read any of my comments on your post, it's Speak Truth. You see there. I don't know if you've seen it. I always comment on your post. I'm particular I'm particular about how my spirit was down yesterday when this girl, the Ada Jesus girl.
It's sad, isn't it? It's
oh my God.
24. I mean, 24 is no age. I mean, you're just coming out of uni and even starting to look at what life has to offer you.
Yes, I just made a comment right now. I said, Rita Edochie is a shame to motherhood because I'm a mother. What in the world will a child do to you? What in this world would a child do to you? To her point of death, her point of death, she was in that sickness, came to your diabolical so-called church, that diabolical altar.
But really, are you calling that place a church though? Because a lot of people will question that. That is that really a church, or what are they exactly doing in that sort of a place?
I
It's just
called it a
funny, yeah,
diabolical church.
funny
It's
going
better.
on.
It's a diabolical church, because the thing is they use this name of Jesus, this man Jesus. Everybody just wants to use this man. An evil occultic person want to use Jesus. They just use his name to cover up their occult words, so that people
Yes.
don't really know the real thing happening. And I said that this girl nailed her coffin when she went into that occult church to seek forgiveness from the devil. Do you understand? So
It's such a treacherous place, the Nigerian Christian space. I was watching a clip on maybe Facebook or somewhere. There was this particular guy. He said he was doing baptizing for people, and he had naked men and women lined up in a river. He was wearing a white garment,
and then he was spreading money on them,
and that also they are saying is Christianity. What is going on?
No, it's not Christianity. These things are occultic. If you know what occult is, people do not understand occult. Let me tell you, occult is a technology. I will just let me break this down to you, because most of our idols were taken from Africa. They're still here in the US. We Africans, we are so ashamed of our culture that we embraced a foreign religion that we know nothing about. And because somebody wrote something in a book and gave it to you, now most people don't apply their common sense when they reason. So I'm trying to say to you that the idols are here. And occult is a technology. It's just like having a gun. If you're an evil person and you have a gun, you're gonna use your gun for evil.
But of course, speak truth. We cannot attribute the death of that girl to Rita Edochie, because of course that girl had a debilitating ailment that she had been carrying for a very long time.
Are you trying to tell me that you do not understand that occult can inflict a sickness? Or
no. We have to be a bit sophisticated in how we look at these things. She was ill prior to all of this encounter, and it was ultimately that ailment that took her life. But where these people took a misstep is raining those curses on her, and then it is their misfortune then that shortly after this girl passed on. So this is just it's more a medical issue than a spiritual issue from my perspective. But I'm happy for you to stay speak truth, because I want to hear from you from some more. But I want to hear from Jibade as well and John. So Jibade, what are you making of what speak truth has just said?
To be honest with you, it goes in two ways. And number one thing is, if probably the causes that lay on her would if that causes is one working, it will definitely go with the sickness anyway. That is standard.
So you agree with that line of thinking?
No. Just I'm trying to break it down. Okay. I'm trying to break it down. So if the causes, if the causes is what happened, the causes will also go with the sickness. Okay. So, but now with what is going on, they prove to us that this lady, has been carrying out the sickness for about a year now. So basically, that's to show that there's no way the causes or whatever have any impact to do with the sickness. It could add a little bit into it, but that's not the main thing of the death, because they prove it to us that she's been sick for the past 1 year. So, but it's just so shameful for all this.
Do you think they can be arrested for this? And that is both to you and to speak truth. Do you think they can and should be arrested for this?
No, because the law doesn't believe in
but I've seen instances in Nigeria that they will arrest somebody for for causing death by witchcraft. Speak truth. Have you not heard of instances like that?
The problem with the Nigerian system is just that the country is the mindset of the people and those ruling the people is really corrupt. They believe in connection. People who have the powers are connected, so they might not do nothing to them because they all belong to the same part.
Can they and should they? Can they and should they?
They should. They should.
Because
it is wrong. It is wrong. You can't do that in your so-called church. A person came to you in her sickness and asked for forgiveness, and you said you must die in your sickness. Legally speaking, that's a word that you mentioned, and she died. I know, even if it did not happen because you made that statement, but I mean, legally speaking, it was wrong in the first place. If she said that here in the US, she will be arrested for that.
Just really to progress this more, and this is to you Speak Truth and Ajibade and John. Do you think there should be a higher threshold and there should be a stronger regulations for registering churches? So there should be a higher threshold before you can register a place as a church, and there should be stronger regulations to guide it. Because of course, what we are seeing almost on a daily basis is that these people are just using these platforms as a tool to exploit people and to abuse people as well. So do you think that the government should take a position in terms of religion and set a higher bar before you are able to establish yourself as a religious body, churches, mosques, synagogue, etc.? The higher bar and then higher monitoring as well.
Yes, to what you're saying, religion should be a personal thing, but they have turned it into a business, and the government should get into it. It's no longer a spiritual thing. It is now a business organization, and now you've turned it into a commodity. Then the government should get into it. It's no longer a personal thing. Your religion is your private affair. It shouldn't be something you advertise on the TV, on YouTube, on Instagram, or whatever. That's business. And if it's business, the government has to come into it and regulate the activities and check. There has to be checks and balances. Yes, that's a business. That's not spirituality.
Ajibade, what about you? What are you making of that? What I'm just suggesting that there should be more regulations and more monitoring before you're able to set up a religious organization, just off the back of this latest saga with Ada Jesus, Odumeje, Rita Edochie, etc. Do you think now this should be the catalyst for more regulation regarding religious organizations? Jibade?
To be honest.
And then you, John.
To be honest, I think religion has getting to a place in Nigeria that is not is getting to a dangerous situation at the moment. If you look at, if I want to say it, to be honest, I would just say they should just remove religion of the country, because the religion is one of the problems that we have in that country. I think we are too religious. We don't allow our brain to speak for us anymore. We allow someone to just stand in front of us and just tell us in the name of what's so called, and we believe everything is like that. For me, I think it's getting annoying now, to be honest.
No, it's getting too much.
Yeah,
and you're exactly right. Religion, it seems to be an impediment to the development of that space, because it is when you are able to hinge everything in your life on some sort of like a spirituality, then it absolves you of the efforts that you need to make to evolve out of that situation. So you have a medical condition and you are saying it's witchcraft. Instead of going to the hospital, you are going to the doctor. Instead of going to the hospital, you are going to the church. And then when you pass away, they will go and say it's your mother's junior wife or some ancestral XYZ. When a simple treatment could have just fixed your situation. And that just applies across the board. Rather than you applying yourself to life, you are looking for some miraculous whiz bang that will just evolve you out of that space. So this is what I'm really questioning, that should the government now intervene to regulate this out of that space? John, what are you making of that suggestion?
My stand, okay, is that religious group will fight for such standardization. Okay, saying that the government should do that, I don't believe it's going to work, because we are already divided in Nigeria. Who really knows? Are Muslim people and we are Christian in the south. Okay,
yes.
And when the Muslims decide to make that law, we start crying, oh, they are doing it because we are Christians. See, such laws of what do you call it, stance will not hold. Okay, if the religious body like can, you know what called can, if they can establish certain rules, then because they are Christians, they are setting the what do you call it, the standard for Christians, then it will work. But saying the government, when we are not the same, okay, in tribe or not the same religion, it will be difficult for them to, they will not do it. Because if they do it, people will fight back. Say, oh, because they're not Muslims. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yes, that's what I find about that. The second one is, you remember our mindset, the way we Africans think.
Yes.
The line of reasonings of Africans. Okay. We always think that something happened to us. We start thinking our forefathers, our ancestors.
Of course. Yes. Somebody has nailed something on a tree. So hold on, John. There's two more voices that have just come in. So let me introduce them. So the people that are not speaking, mute yourself. So everybody mute yourself apart from Starman. So Starman, introduce yourself and just tell us where you are with the conversation. Starman.
Hello guys.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. I'm Starman. I've been listening to the conversation, but I've been seeing flashes pop up about the whole Ada Jesus thing. So I haven't particularly paid. I mean, there are more pressing issues going on in Nigeria than Ada Jesus.
Right.
But where I am on the whole thing, I mean, I came in because I just thought, Nigerians talking about religion. Perfect time for me to jump in, toss the cat amongst the pigeons.
Okay.
There's a question I've been asking every black person I've met. If conversation takes us that way, in the past 2 years, I've been asking this question to every black person, African, Black American, Caribbean. And it's a simple question I'm going to ask everybody on this panel tonight. And there's a reason why I asked this question. And the question goes, as a black person, which is more important to you? Being a Christian or a Muslim? Yeah, that's one. Being a Christian or a Muslim, whichever one you are. Or being an African? That's the question. Starting with you, one.
No. What is the distinguishing part of it? What stops you from being both?
I know where it's going. Let me come in there. I know exactly where Starman is going. Now, what Starman is, what is? I actually love that. You know, I've been trying to manage my speech. Now you brought out. So
sorry, one second. And this, to me, this is the most important question every black person should be asking himself.
Okay, let the question be answered. So Jibade is about to give it a go. So give him the chance to do that. Off you go, Jibade.
Now, what he's trying to say is that we African generally, when you talk about the Christianity, Islam, that does not belong to us. It's a foreign religion. You know, if you look at the China, Indian, they accept what belongs to them. You know, Singapore, they to kick off Christianity out of the country. You know, so until that's where it is going. We are African. We have our own heritage. We know exactly what we belong to. You know, I've been in this country for the past how many years? I've never see, even the kids, I mean, the white people here, they don't even know who Jesus is, you know. And if them brought the Christianity to Africa, we cannot know more than them. We cannot know their religion more than them.
Yes, we've actually tackled that in an earlier session. And what I was saying then was that that you don't really, a lot of this religious fervor that we have all over is as a result of deficiencies in structures. So because the medical services are not there, because the job opportunities are not there, because there's no insulation in the system. So I use the United Kingdom as an example. In the United Kingdom, you have a social welfare system. So there's a threshold beyond which you cannot fall, and the country, the society will pick you up. So you can go on the benefit system, you get a house, you get food, you get access to medical services, etc. So if you have access to all of these things, then there is really nothing then that is a real threat to your existence, to the point. So that threshold, the only thing that you can have is more, but not less. So really, these people, they feel no need to go to church because a lot of their problems are already insulated by the society that they live in. They drive on nice roads. They have the best that medicine can offer, medicine that will literally save your life. They will cure you of cancer. They will cure you of this and that, which is something that you will. So these are the things really that we are still looking to religion as a pathway through. But then, of course, in civilized climes, they've already facilitated for provisions that they can make for themselves.
They are deceiving us.
Yeah.
Don't you think that we will be deceived?
Who's deceiving us?
Of course, if they brought that into us, and then
if you are gullible, people will exploit you. Now in Yoruba language, we say obu. You know, so if you are gullible, of course, people will exploit you. Does anyone else want to address what Starman has to say before we move on?
Yes, being an African or being religious, whatever you call it, that is not the answer for me. What Black people need to be themselves. You have to be who you are. Before Africa came, or before they named us Africa, we'll have tribals. We are tribal people. You have to stand firm to who or to the tribe you believe you are in. You cannot just decide to jump into a different culture because the culture looks nicer or it seems better than yours. Okay? So that is where I disagree with somebody said Africa. No, I believe we have to be ourselves first. When you be yourself, you know who you are, then things can work for that. Then one more thing is comparison. You know why I say comparison? Comparison is not right. Okay? If you want to behave like a Dutchman, you know what I mean? Like a Dutchman or a Frenchman, you want to do what they are doing. You have to think like them. You have to reason like them. You cannot say, oh, French is this, French is that, but you will do something else. So that is
John. Do you think Black people are intellectually inferior?
Well, I cannot say
no. Yes or no? Yes or no?
I cannot say yes or no because
don't qualify it because this is something that you'd have given. Do you think Black people are intellectually inferior?
I don't believe in that because everybody has his own way of thinking. Some people think very fast, some think slowly, and they achieve it. Okay, so not because white man did an air conditioner. We don't need air conditioner, so why should we go on the air conditioner? During the time of our grandfathers, the ancestors, they don't need air conditioner. They can't think towards that way. Okay, so not because they did something, therefore we have to do like them. No, we have our own way to reason.
Okay. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let's go to Starman. So Starman, why have you posed that question, and what is your answer to your own question? So what is underpinning the question, and what is your answer to your question?
I've been posing this question because this question is fundamentally a question about identity. In the past 2 years, I've asked close to about an estimated 200 Christians this question, and an estimated about 50 African Muslims this question. Now, 50%, 50 of the 100% of the African Muslims all said that their Muslim identity was more important to them than their African identity. 95% of the Christians, black people, black Christians have asked this question, have said that their Christian identity is more important to them than their African identity. And suddenly you begin to see where Africans' problems begin.
So what conclusions do you draw from that?
We're too busy trying to be anything else other than African.
Right.
Christianity is a European tradition. Islam is a European tradition. And guess what? We're all fighting over each other now.
Islam
over foreign
is a Middle
ideology.
Eastern. Islam is a Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern. Sorry. So you have an African continent today, and in Nigeria in particular, where we're now fighting each other, killing each other over foreign ideologies.
Yes, I agree.
Now, the Ada Jesus situation, where she was ill, and why was she in the church in the first place? Why not a hospital? You know, and these so-called churches that all of us want to kill ourselves over. I mean, from their inception in Nigeria, let's even say, okay, all of us decided to agree that the government shouldn't do anything for us. Anybody that wants to loot, just go and join government. Yeah, the amount of money the so-called Christians in Nigeria have donated to churches, whether Taito, whether Harvest, or whatever they are doing, offering every Sunday, the amount of money they've donated to churches is enough to have built national infrastructure in Nigeria alone.
Yes. It's bigger than the GDP of Togo and Benin combined.
Yes.
The money that they are donating in all these churches. It's a ridiculous system, but it still, for me, it goes back to that point that I was making, that is because the society is not structured in a way that insulates the citizenry. That is essentially why we have the situation as we have it. Let's hear from our Speak Truth. Speak Truth. Do you want to give us a closing remark before you say your goodbye? Speak Truth. Okay. So Starban, yes. So what I was saying, what underpinned that question that you're asking, and you seem to be suggesting that the biggest Malays that were contending with us Africans, and really by extension Black people, is being subsumed by these foreign religions to more and jettisoning our own traditional beliefs, which of course are religions that are alien to us. We cannot really have full grasp of it, and we cannot really evolve from that position, and would have been better evolving organically from the way we instinctually are. Is that a good summation of what you're saying, or have I gotten it wrong?
Yes. I mean, you know, you look at the effect of Christianity and Islam on Africa, and you can clearly see these two religions destroying the original African cultures. When you look at northern Nigeria, there's nothing much. The only thing Hausa remaining in northern Nigeria is the language.
There's nothing that those religions, sorry to interrupt you, Starman, there is nothing that those religions on the rounds, you know, there's nothing that those religions have contributed to that space other than destruction, you know, and in slavery. It's a form of a mental colonization and enslavement, the religion.
Exactly. Yes.
Sorry. Carry on. Yeah.
Yes. You know, when a man can dictate to you what and who to believe in, then he controls your destiny. If he controls your money, he controls your ambition. Nigeria is still an enslaved space. And when I say this, Nigerians argue with me. You think Africans only seem to think that it's only when you have chains that you can see on your hands and neck that you are enslaved. But I'll tell you something, and I've been saying this as well. If we do not wake up, the black man is going to go extinct, and we only have 100 years left.
No, that's I know you have to back that up. That's a bit much.
To back it up,
No, extinct in what way? Qualify that statement. Extinct in what way?
Completely wiped off the face of the earth, just like the Neanderthals.
Well, as a being, or
as a being, yes.
Or as a culture? Is it as a being or as a culture?
As a being. See, when I say this, people can't seem to quite grasp it. Look, I told you in the last time I called in that I've studied in sequential order a combined 10 million years of the African continent's history.
Right.
Like a story from beginning to end. And I identified a pattern from the last 10,000 years. The black man has been wiped off long ago. As of 10,000 years ago, there was black people in all 5 continents. Today, we're only on half a continent, struggling to survive, not in control of our own destiny. When I say
hold on. If black people were on all 5 continents, then where were other people? What about other people? Where were they?
There was no white people until 12,000 years ago.
Well, there you go. Then you are talking about evolution, are you not?
To some degree, yes, but
no. Essentially, it's not to some degree. That is the totality of what you've just said. That's the human race.
What I'm saying is not focusing on evolution. Yes, right. I subscribe to the theory of evolution. If that's what, yes, I do. But what the main question is, why at the advent of the white man 12,000 years ago did black people suddenly start getting displaced from all the other continents to the point where 1,300 years ago
I am not aware. No, Starman, you are taking leaps of faith in these pronouncements that you are making, because I am not aware that the black man was ever on all of those continents. What the narrative that everybody is familiar with is that the other continents were colonized, yes, by black people, but those black people evolved out of Africa on excursions and ended up in all of these things. And there is genetic, there's genetic proofing to prove that, because out of all of the humankind that we have on this planet, the only complete human being that we have on this planet is the woman from East Africa. So let's say Kenya, that sort of area. So that is the most complete human being, because that East African woman is the only person on this planet that carries all of the genetic traces of all of the human race. Nobody else does that. So that then tells you that that evolution narrative, people evolved. You see all these white people, Chinese people, etc. Those are climatic evolutions of the person. Because of course you have to understand, even you sound as though you're in Europe, so you know how harsh the climate is. So in fact, the climatic adaptations is what has evolved their being into that physicality that they have now. So essentially, they are still black people, your white person, your Chinese, etc. Because of course, the genetic tracing goes back to that East African woman. So I don't know where you are getting your narrative from, or it seems like though you are taking leaps there, Starman.
I'm not taking leaps. Okay. I mean, I don't. It depends on how much time you have. I mean,
carry on, because you are positing some quite I won't say fanciful.
Humanity originated from Africa. They left Africa in several waves, but the last wave that left Africa, which happened about 70,000 years ago, led to the current population of the world today. Now, as of when they left Africa, there were other types of hominins. There was Neanderthals in Europe. There was Denisovan in Asia. Yeah. And when they did leave Africa into Europe and Asia, they met those other hominins. And they even interbred to some degree. So now, the reason why I have white and Chinese people today is not just climate and diet. There is a whole lot of things. But
yes, like the genetic mixing of the Neanderthal and the Homo sapiens, and it's the whole mesh of it, yes.
And this mixing began at just before the Neanderthals and Denisovans went extinct, around from we met them in Europe from 40,000 years ago. The mixing started about 25,000 years ago. Just at the tail end before they went extinct, 15,000 years ago. Now, over several generations, For some reason, because of the cold climate, now Neanderthals are known to have had white skin. For, you know, over several generations, climatic reasons as well. That adaptation of white skin.
Who told you? Who told you they had white skin? Because their description is like a 7 foot, 8 foot, almost barely humanoid-like person, almost of a ape-like form.
They were shorter
they
than
were
us.
not. No, they were not. Now you can Google it. I mean, I'm sure you have Google on your screen. They were not. Certainly not.
They were shorter than us, but they were stockier. They had a stockier build, but they were shorter than and stronger.
All right. So where are we going with this? Because we have gone from Ada Jesus to end up in black people being wiped out in 100 years.
Yes, I mean, what led us down this path was because I made the statement that if we do not wake up and stop advocating all these foreign religions that are destroying our cultures, we will go extinct within the next 100 years. And like I said, this pattern of extinction of the black man has been going on for 10,000 years. And it takes about 10,000 years for an intelligent species to go extinct. Just look at all the other hominids, from Homo habilis to Homo erectus to Homo heidelbergensis, all of them. It takes about 10,000 years to finish a decline. We've been in decline for 10,000 years. And what I'm saying is, when you look at Africa today,
no, Starman, I cannot allow you to say these things because you are taking several leaps in science and in faith to arrive at a narrative that does not essentially hold together. You know, there's too many chasms in what you're saying for it to hold together. So you need to go and perfect that narrative before you. It doesn't hang.
Let me even finish once. 3,000 years ago, the entire African continent, even Starman, I'm going to give you the floor to carry on this narrative as I go get myself a glass of water. So keep talking. I'm just going to come off the screen for a moment. And anybody that wants to interject with us, Starman can. Just give me barely a second. So carry on. Yeah, no worries. See, as of when the Sahara started forming, the entire African continent was populated by black people. Now, but let me not even lecture too much on that. Now, if Africa's problems, also the problems Africa is in today, you can directly trace it to 1,300 years ago, when the Arabs invaded North Africa. And before they invaded, most of Africa was populated by indigenous black-skinned people. Today, when you look at the map of Africa, they will tell you that North Africa is populated by Caucasoids. Caucasoid is another white name for white people, because Arabs are classified as Caucasoids. White people, they don't have as much melanin as we have. And then when you look at the map of Africa as well, you see that sub-Saharan Africa is populated by Africoids, and that's the only place where you see Africoids. And for 1,300 years, Islam has been pushing down across the Sahara. In fact, there was this American guy that measured the rate Islam pushes across the Sahara per annum. Islam pushes across the Sahara 4 miles per annum.
Wow, that's a lot.
We're being consumed by Islam. Now, that's one front of this attack that's leading to our extinction. We're being attacked on the north by Islam. And then we all know that from 400 years ago, the Europeans launched an attack from the west, carrying slaves. When they got tired of carrying slaves because they started getting scared of slave rebellions, they changed the system from slavery to colonialism, which was essentially the same thing. Just go and do some thought exercise about it. There is no difference between slavery and colonialism. The only difference is slavery, they take you from your land to another land. But colonialism, they enslave you on your own land. So that was the second front from the west.
Okay, I hope you have not been letting
the third front.
What third front?
China, they've launched a third front from the east. You see what they're doing all across East Africa and South Africa, Zambia, all those countries.
Yeah, no, that's a real tragedy what's going on in Zambia. Zambia is effectively, it's not even a colony. They've taken over that space.
And Zambia, what? You think Zambia is the only place they plan to take over like that? And What happens within the next 50 years when we suddenly wake up, or our children wake up and realize, hold on, what happened to our our ancestors is happening again. China has now colonized this part. The Muslims have generally taken over this part, and the West, through neocolonialism, is still got
Sorry,
this part.
but it's the question, Starman, is the question that I put to John, and he wasn't going to be drawn on it. Do you think that Black people are fundamentally, of course, you get the odd person that disproves the theory, but do you think that Black people are fundamentally intellectually inferior to the rest of our other types of people?
Well, are you asking me?
I am asking you.
Now, I don't think the Black man is fundamentally inferior.
No, intellectually inferior.
Sorry, intellectually inferior. But as a result of the shock of the
displacement
of what has happened to us
yes.
in our history, we are now acting intellectually inferior because of it. Not just the shock, a lot of even conscious agenda, like I said the last time I called in, that we Black people, especially the West Africans, were the most miseducated, lied to, and confused people on the planet. It's not that we're intellectually inferior. If anything, it can be argued that we're probably, I mean, I'm not saying we're, but it can be argued that we're amongst the top intellects in the world.
How do you back that up?
Yeah. When you look at the achievements of sub-Saharan, especially southern Nigerians on a global stage.
Oh dear. Are we going back to Biafra?
No, I'm not just.
Right. Oh God, Starman! At last.
I'm just talking about.
I knew there was an angle. Okay, let's have it.
I wasn't talking about Biafra. If you ask me for a list,
but you are Eastern though. You are Eastern though, are you not?
Yes, I am Eastern. Yeah.
And you are Biafran, are you not?
Yes.
And you are Ipob. Yes. Now you are Ipob. Yeah. Okay. Now you put it together.
About Ipob, yeah. I don't think.
Okay. I knew there was an angle to your whole narration, and I had the inkling that it was in that direction. And very quickly,
you got there. You are the one who brought it up. I wasn't thinking.
No, you brought it up. You took the Israelite route. You took the Cynic route.
Did I mention Israel? Did I mention Israel?
No. That's just a metaphorical. That's just a metaphor.
But it's true. Anyway, when you look at global achievements, when you look at global achievements of southern Nigerians, we're up there with the best. Look, there'll be no supercomputers today.
Cite examples.
There'll be no supercomputers today if not for Philip Emeagwali.
No, there would be, but he got there first. It's somebody else that got in there.
Well, at the time when he persisted with the theory, virtually all computer scientists globally they had given up on the idea. It wasn't possible.
But of course, you know that the whole computing system, which is a binary system, is based on the Yoruba Ifa system, which is Oyeku and Ogbe.
Exactly.
It's based on Oyeku and Ogbe. You know what Oyeku and Ogbe is?
I know about Ifa system largely, but
you know the Ifa system. It goes the reading of the Ifa. You know that the Ifa works on a cowrie type system, and when the Babalawo, he holds the beads and is chucking it from one hand to the other. If he gets an odd number, he will draw one number. You see them drawing it on a sand-like thing, and then when he gets another number, he'll draw two numbers. So if he gets an even number, he'll draw one. If he gets an odd number, he will draw two. And there are 270 progenitions of all Ifa divinations. So it's all based on Oyeku and Ogbe, which is that binary system, which is the underpinning of the computing thing. So it's So there's a lot to a lot of these things. Yeah.
And you clearly see that
land us, because I want to bring other people in as well. So land us on a point, and then I'll bring Speak Truth, and then Bossman, who has been giving me a hard time in the comments.
Oh, okay. So basically, our problem on the African continent is that,
land quickly though, so we can bring others in.
Is that we subscribe to other ideologies, which is destroying our own ability to know who we really are. We are a lost people. That's why all this nonsense is ritual killings. You know, people you see people that they don't have a job, they want a job, they wake up, instead of going to look for a job, they'll go to church. You see people who they fall ill, they go to church.
Yeah, hold that thought, Starman. Let's bring Mr. Buzz in. Mr. Buzz. Hello, Mr. Buzz. Are you there, Mr. Buzz? I can faintly hear you. No, there's certainly, no, not, whatever it is you need to adjust it so we can hear you clearly. We can hear you, but faintly. Okay, speak truth. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what are you making of the conversation so far? And especially this psychedelic theory that our Starman is trying to use to bojo us with.
He said bojo us with.
Yes, he's trying to use. He's trying to confuse us with mythical
science. I was even surprised that you guys kind of went away from the whole discussion, and it was about Africa, the evolution of man, and everything. But I know somehow this whole thing is interlinked somehow.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're talking about specifically this young lady that died. Jesus. Yes, it's but we can actually bring the whole conversation. It's somehow connected. What he was saying as well.
Yeah. But what I was trying to pin you down on, Speak Truth, is where you are putting the weight of the death of this young lady. Are you putting it?
You said something about Ifa. You were talking about Ifa. You talked about a lot of things concerning Ifa. What you're talking about is spirituality. And that's why I told you, occult is a technology. The problem with the African people is that they use occult for evil. They don't use it for good. It's like I told you, occult is like you having a weapon, it's like having a gun. So
do you think it's only black people that have it?
If you are an evil person, if you are evil, if you are mean, if you are a self-centered person, a person who you have nothing like humanity within you, you don't have a conscience, that's when you do these things. If you are somebody who are ruled by your emotions, anger, envy, jealousy, if these things rule you and you have the power of occult, you're going to use it for evil. That's what I'm saying.
Do you believe it exists? Because I have never believed fully that it does exist.
I
think it's some sort of placebo. These things.
No, let me tell you, we are Africans. We are Africans. We were spiritual people before the white man brought his religion, his slave. I call it, okay, I'm sorry, baby. I call it the slave master's religion.
Is that your son or your daughter?
That's my baby girl. She won't let me. She said, keep quiet, mama.
How old is she?
She just turned 3 last week.
All right. She wants to join in the conversation. I agree with everything she said. She's the only one that is talking sense on this panel. Yeah. So land your point.
So what I was saying is, number one and first thing was we are Africans. We had our spirituality before the white man came with his tricks of religion. Both Christianity and Islam is from the Middle East. I need you to research on that and check it.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah,
you're exactly
Christianity
right.
and Islam, these are both religions are from the Middle East. The oldest religion is Hindu, you know.
They call them
the religion in the world.
Just to buttress your point, Speak Truth, they call them the Abrahamic religion. There's a tripartite of them.
That's it. This Abrahamic religion is Islam and Christianity, because it's just between Isaac and Ishmael.
And Judaism
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
So
Now I want to pinpoint these two religions. These are the two major religions that is a problem. It's Christianity and Islam.
Are you a Christian?
I used to be a Christian when I didn't know nothing, when I was fooled.
When were you last in church?
Oh, I think it's over 3 years now. I don't go to church. Like right now, I don't have a religion. My religion is humanity.
When did you last pray?
I don't pray. Prayer is for those who are seeking for prayer is for people who do not want to face their realities. They just want somebody to soothe them.
Exactly. Okay, I think you're along the same thought lines as Starman. Let's hear from Mr. Boss. It's just left now. So Starman, it looks as though you have a kindred spirit in Speak Truth. She seems to be aligned with your thought patterns.
Yeah,
it's not a thought pattern. It's actually a reality.
Well,
what you don't know
is your reality. Because everybody's reality is specific to them, isn't it? So it's not. It might not well be
a philosophy or an ideology, because people try to create a philosophy for whatever they're doing. People want to make a philosophy of everything they're saying or doing. You ask a drunk man, why are you drinking? He wants to give you a philosophy why he's drinking. You ask a criminal, why do you steal? He's giving you a philosophy why he's
But when you were a Christian, that was your reality. Now that you're not, this is now your reality. I was
introduced to Christianity by my parents. It's not by my choice.
Yeah, but it was
that religion, and I was seeking truth. I wanted to find the truth, and I kept asking, and I did not get the truth.
But it was your reality, is what I'm saying, until you came out of it into a new reality.
No. I found the truth. I found the truth. Yeah. When you seek for truth, you're gonna find it.
Okay. All right. So, Starman, what are you making of that?
Sorry. To understand what happened to us with Christianity as Africans, think of it like this. Yeah. Think of now as a human being, when you're born, there's no manual. You're just born, and you have to learn everything you know. And over time, all the input of information that goes into your brain forms like a frame of.
You see, this is the thing that I say. You're always taking leaps. Of course, when you are born, there is a manual. Of course, there is. Parental guidance, societal norms, structures, civilization. These are all manuals for life, and this is effectively the manual that you get from the moment you draw your first breath. So, of course, there is a manual.
But as soon as you're born, it's not like you know everything society wants you to do already. That's what I said.
You do know because there's a structure in place, and you instinctually feed into that structure. So you do know.
When you're born as a baby, you don't even know what society is.
Of course you know.
Of course you know. As a kid, you don't know fire is hot until you get the experience, and then basically what I'm saying is, when you're born, there's no manual. You have to write your own manual as you grow older. It's not like you're born and there's, like how you buy a computer and there's a manual already.
You have some quite fixed psychedelic thoughts, Starman. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, so you have to build this manual as you grow up, as you grow older, and this manual is akin to, your brain's the computer. And the operating software is the manual, or the frame of reference you install in that brain, such as religion, such as science. And these two things are based on two fundamentally different things. Religion is based on faith. Science is based on logic and reason. Now, like I said, I've been talking about the effects of Christianity on the African. Right. When you install a fundamentally biased frame of reference in your brain, a frame of reference that is not meant to serve your purpose, a frame of reference that puts you in a position. It's like when they brought Jesus Christ to us. Jesus Christ was blonde with blue eyes,
right?
And in effect, Africans not realize that apart from being subjugated by guns, when you go to church, and you're worshiping this white Jesus Christ, you're by default worshiping a white Jesus. Sorry, a white character, a white figure, a white man. That's why when I come up with this theory, when I come up with my theory,
sorry, I keep on interrupting you, Starman.
But when a white man says it, they'll believe
Starman, you're taking leaps again. You know, of course, that Jesus Christ is a Palestinian. You know that Jesus Christ.
Yes. So, but when he was originally sold to us, hold on,
because you took a leap there. A Palestinian is of an olive inflection, not a white skin, and the Middle East, they don't have blonde hair. So Jesus Christ was never blonde, blue-eyed. If it's a Palestinian, if it's a Palestinian, then it's an Arab-looking guy with jet black hair. So that is what they look like in Palestine. There's no blonde.
Let me finish. Now, what I said originally was that when Jesus was first brought to us, he was brought to us as a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. And we started worshiping that. And that by default, that was akin to pretty much worshiping the white people that brought it to you, because they're worshiping this picture of someone with white skin. Now, subsequent research has brought to light that Jesus Christ was clearly not a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. He was from the area around Palestine. And, you know, there's some pointers that Jesus was a Semite. He was of Semitic stock. Now, I think why white people can still live with that is because the Semitic stock is still of Caucasoid stock. They are Caucasoids.
Right.
Albeit that their hair is not blonde and they don't have blue eyes, but they don't have enough melanin to be considered Africoid. Right. I'll tell you this, and this when you think of Christianity like this, I think you begin to realize that it was actually given to you to control you. Now, the area Jesus came from was originally called the land of Canaan, and we know that the land of Canaan was originally populated by black-skinned, melanated-skinned people, and the people.
No! You are taking a leap again. Can you back that up? How did the Middle Eastern country of Palestine, how did they come about being populated by black-skinned Negroids?
So why would black-skinned people just stop at Egypt when Canaan is right next to Egypt?
Black-skinned people came about Egypt by way of enslavement and war and conquest.
Are you saying the original Egyptians were not black?
Oh, right. Is that where we're going?
The original Egyptians were black. Their neighbors, the Canaanites, were black.
Okay, carry on.
And from Abraham's migration, you can clearly see that the Semites migrated from today's Iran into Canaan. Why did God promise them another man's land? And there's another school of thought that says Jesus might have been from the original stock of Canaanites, right, who are believed to be black.
Are you sure is Jesus an Igbo man, Starman? Let's just clear that one off. Is he an Igbo man?
No, he's not.
Is it? Okay, good.
He's not.
You're not going that far yet.
No, he never got that far.
Because I'm half expecting you to say Jesus is a Biafran, but carry on.
No, I mean, this has nothing to do with Biafra. I'm just giving world history as I've read it and studied it. Now, I'll tell you something about Christianity. And this whole,
you see, you are losing my audience for me. I had a room full. Now you have come up with your fantastical notions. Half of them have left.
Nigerians don't like hearing about religion, but they don't realize that's their problem. That's the stem of their problem. Now, white people gave us, a Europeanized version of Jesus, but there's conclusive evidence that Jesus was actually really black-skinned, melanated. And suddenly, Christians realize that they now have to begin to worship.
Jesus was a black man. Jesus was a black man.
And suddenly, Christians realize that they now have to suddenly begin to worship a black-skinned Jesus. Christianity will end.
Okay. Starman, I think I'm going to pause you for a moment. I'll bring African Wahala in just to say hello, and then I'll go on to the last story because there's still one last narration that I promised. So to deliver that. So African Wahala, just say quick hello, then I'll bring the last story, and then we'll go around for everybody to give us their final thoughts. So just say quick hello, just African Wahala.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me here once again. Man, I just wanted to say I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. You're bringing the community together. We are able to air out our voices. But straight into the topic, I'm going to talk about the second aspect of it, where Buhari is in the process of exterminating the Igbos. I'm not Igbo, I'm Yoruba. Okay. My name is Adewale. But it's definitely fact. You can, if you add all the pieces of the puzzle together, you can tell that there is an agenda to Islamize the entire country.
No, there are two things you said. Sorry. I don't know why people are jumping in this. You made 2 points there. You said he wants to exterminate the Igbos, and then you said he wants to Islamize the region. So that's two different things. So extermination is a separate thing from Islamization. So my point is really to the two stances that you're taking. Why would he want to exterminate the Igbos? And of course, I can buy the Islamization one. I can accept that. But why would he want to exterminate the Igbos?
So, since the Igbos are one of the 3 major ethnic groups in the country, and their region is the only monotonous region in terms of the religious beliefs, majority of the Igbos are Christian, and they are not going to bend. So we Yorubas, we have the Christians, we have the Muslims, but we are not extremists. However, since the Igbos are not going to allow the
you're talking about the biggest genocide that the world would have ever seen. If you are talking about exterminating the Igbos are about 30-40 million people. So to exterminate them, you know what you just said? Okay, or maybe, yeah. Do you know what you just said?
Yeah.
Or do you want to rephrase that?
No, I'm 100% convinced with what I'm saying. I'm
right. They want to exterminate 30-40 million people.
That is impossible. It's not possible to exterminate.
No. We're not saying if it's possible. You're saying he wants to. Are you sitting on that point that he wants to exterminate them?
But that is a big.
What I'm saying. Sorry. What I'm saying is, if you put the pieces of the puzzle together, it looks like Buhari is in the process of exterminating anybody that refuses to be subjugated.
Okay.
Yes.
And back it up.
And this process already began hundreds of years ago by Usman Danfodio during the jihad process. The only problem is they were able to push them back in the incursion that happened in Oshogbo, modern day Oshogbo. But to cut the long story short, the Igbos are extremely hard-headed, and I'm saying that in a positive way. I'm not trying to disrespect them in any way. And they will not allow their subjugation. And for that reason, the only other option is to get rid of them if they really want their Islamization agenda to happen.
30 million people?
It's not possible. It just shows that they are okay. The people that are trying to create this extermination, it only proves that they are
let me tell you what you are trying to say, which I might well agree with. I think what you're trying to say is that Buhari is trying to colonize the Igbo space and Islamize it and Fulanize it, which I might agree with, but certainly not exterminate it. I don't think, if he could, he would, but I don't think even he has the thought of wiping out our 30-40 million people. But land your point.
Okay, I'm so sorry to take so much time, but I'm just going to round up now.
Don't round up. Make your point as you want to make it.
Okay, so the point is, anybody that has an agenda to Islamize millions of people against their will, that is already a foolish approach to think. So I wouldn't be surprised if that same person has the same agenda, a similar agenda of exterminating the people because they will not bulge to his pressures. So Buhari is not the only person in this. There are many of them. A lot of these guys in the government organizations these days, we're seeing what is going on with Issa Pantami. That is a clear evidence that these guys have an agenda to destroy, to subjugate anybody that is not willing to budge. So that is the point that I'm standing at. It's unrealistic to try to exterminate millions of people, but it's only a foolish person, a foolish group of people, a foolish ideology that would think that it is possible to exterminate millions of people the same way they think that it is possible to Islamize millions of people. So it comes from the same source of...
So the agenda is doomed to failure, is what you're saying?
Yes, their failure to Islamize, the next level is to exterminate, and they're going to fail in both departments, unfortunately.
You see, what I think they are trying to do is along the lines that you are saying, but not quite to the technique that you are saying. What I think they want to try and do is to seize charge of rulership of these spaces. And we're talking about the Loring example. So to seize charge of the rulership of that space, so that then they have their own person in charge, you know, of the runnings of that space. And it is only really to bring their religion in and to take full possession of the resources. Because of course, it's the resources in that South, etc., that is really the only thing that is holding them back. You know, outside of that, they have no interest in Nigeria. They see the Southerners as infidels, essentially, and
yes.
really it's that resources that they're after. That is just my own theory. But yes, sorry, land your point.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. But you know, I also want you to understand that these people are mentally retarded, and for that reason, they try to push their luck. And they are so dumb that they don't realize that
they're not dumb, African Wahala. You can't say that. When they have been ruling you for 60 years, they cannot be dumb.
I'll prove it to you that they are dumb.
Okay.
The only reason why they are able to rule us for so long is because they've weaponized a lack of education in the country. They've weaponized poverty. The fact that the people don't have access to the resources that they need, they will do anything, including worshiping and remaining subjugated by the criminals. But in real life, if the people were given an opportunity to be educated, to be enlightened, to have access to basic amenities, infrastructure, today it'll be very difficult to even try to continuously rule people for so long. You can't tell me the guy that passed away, the president of Chad, that ruled for 30 years. He didn't rule because he was smart. He ruled with force, brute force. That doesn't make him smart.
Yeah, but the thing is though, if you are whichever way, these people have had dominion over that space pretty much since the Nigerian space was created. So you cannot say they are dumb, because if they are dumb and they have dominion over you, then what does that say about you is the question, you know? So however they are doing it is working for them, and they continue to have dominion over that space. And we chant and we make a lot of noise, but they continue to have dominion over that space. So if you are saying it's false, it is this, that, and the other, the fundamental fact is they continue to have dominion over that space. So if we are smarter than them, but then why is that the case?
You see, the problem is I don't think we are smarter than them, and I don't think they are smarter than us. The fact what makes someone smart comes from his natural, you know, the IQ level, the way his brain developed and stuff like that. But the fact that they have weaponized the lack of education and poverty, it makes people dumber. And that's the reason why they've been able to hold on to power for so long. But also, if you look at the trajectory of the situation these days, it shows that their powers are gradually reducing. You can see the agitations going on.
Are you joking?
Yes, I'm not joking, sir. You
think their power is reducing?
Oh, it is reducing.
Or increasing?
No, it's reducing. Their powers are reducing. This is the clearest evidence. This is how you know their powers are reducing. Back in the days, they had all the support, especially from the international community. They would sell them weapons. They would sell them anything that they can use to destroy the lives of their people. But these days, the international community is beginning to question them for the first time. And the agitations are increasing every day. We started off with the Biafran agitation, been going on for 50 years. Now we are having the ODUDUA agitation that has grown at a geometric progression rate. It's unstoppable. There is nothing they can do.
How has that evolved over these 50 years that Ojoko, going on 60 now years that Ojoko started that agitation? What step forward has been made in that agitation for Biafra Republic?
Right now that we're
because for me, it has not moved 1 inch.
No, it has actually moved. The agitation has moved. I'm in total support of the Biafran movement.
No, not the agitation, the actualization. The actualization is what we're talking about.
Yes.
So you can agitate all you like, but how has the actualization of Biafra moved forward 1 inch since the days that Ojoko came up with the whole saga?
Do you know, I would say between the end SARS protests and right now, 2021 April, there has been a significant improvement in the movement, especially because the Yoruba agitation also started, and that has given them more power. It has given the Biafrans power. It has given the ODUDUANs power. Now,
how has that power vested? How has that power vested?
We are still in the process of having it manifest. And luckily, we are seeing results already. The Yorubas already took their agitation to the UNPO. UNPO recognizes the Yorubas as
it was rejected.
No, it was accepted. Last I read.
Okay, I have to check again. But what I heard was that it was rejected. But yeah, go on.
Awareness is a weapon.
Just the bare fact that the Yorubas also came out and started demanding for a country of ours, that shows that there is something wrong. The people back in the days that did not take the Biafran seriously, I'm talking about the international community, now they don't have a choice but to take it seriously, since different groups in the country are all asking to leave, that nobody wants to be a part of a country that enslaves you and tells you not to say anything about it. Nobody wants to be a part of it. So that in itself is an evidence that the Biafran struggle is gaining more traction.
Okay, well, sorry, hold on. That's subjective. That is subjective because you might say, because that is still what you've just said for me is still in the realms of clamoring. So it's still a clamor, even though you are saying that clamor is reverberating even more. It's still clamor. But as Starman, you wanted to chime in.
I think African Wala has spoken very well. And to be honest, he didn't say nothing wrong. And what he said about Fulani not being smart, 100% spot on. You do not have to be, yes, they've controlled us for 6 years. Does not mean they're smarter than us. You do not have to be smarter than the people who control them. All you need is weapons, guns, arms, force of arms. That's all you need. And backed by Britain with their psychological warfare, the Fulani were able to pull it off. Why is it that, I mean, we all see the so-called Fulani professors on TV. Those guys are a joke, and those are their professors.
No, you are missing the point. Smart is relative to the environment that you're in, isn't it? So you're only smart relative to the people that you're interacting with. Nobody is the smartest on the planet. You're smart relative to the environment that you're in. And the environment that the Fulanis are in is the Nigerian environment, essentially. And if they are...
Which they've gone down.
Well, if they are getting the upper hand, you cannot say that they are not smart. If they are continuously and routinely getting the upper hand, you cannot say that they are not smart.
Look, if you have a gun pointed at someone you're negotiating with, and that person doesn't have a gun, it's not a negotiation.
Yeah, well,
we've not. I mean, so if they're that smart, why is there a quota system in Nigeria? Why?
Okay, let's bring other voices in that have just joined us. Isaac, you are late. You are going to be fine, though, Isaac. How are you? What are you making of the conversation so far? I'm not quite sure how much of it you've been able to. So give us a thought, then I'll bring Professor Data O as well, who's waiting. So Isaac.
Actually, I was here hearing you. It's just that I was doing something offline. So
that's fine. I'm only joking. Carry on.
So, like, I think I concurrent with all what he said.
Who? African Wahala?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you can see right now, Nigerian government is shaking. And I just listened to Mayegun Diary. There is a report that was sent to the United States and copied, and the same report was copied to the UK Parliament. So I think all these things working together in the sense that if you remember last few years, British never asked Ipob to come and take asylum in UK. So you can see that they now see that something is wrong because everybody just want to get out of this shit hole. So you can see it right now. US has already told their citizens that there are some states that they cannot go to in Nigeria. I think about 24 states now.
Yes, it was 14. Is it 24 now?
Either 14 or 25. I think it's something for 4. And they ended it. So you can see what is going on right now. That they now realize that something is definitely wrong. Because in the last 2 years you didn't see Yoruba people calling for secession. You don't see Middle Belt. They say they want to leave Nigeria.
But what has happened? Anyway, let's bring Professor Data O in just to hear the sound of Professor Data O. What are you making of all this?
Good day, everyone in the house. Okay, first of all, let me tackle what you said. What is happening? What is happening? The thing happening is simple. I will say this thing I said before. Buhari is dead. I don't care what people say. But now, whatever puppet they have here.
Don't take us to that place.
No.
We don't want to do the
okay. Good. Okay.
Please.
Now let me say this.
Let's keep the level high.
Let me say this. Whatever presidency or whatever, he's not supporting the unity of the country. When he will parade Fulani in almost every key position, he's not supporting unity.
No,
that's true. Then everybody, then the Yorubas, us, the Igbos, what else do you want us to do? The Middle Belt, the same thing. That is why there's a disarray in the country. That is the simple reason, because
do you think if he holds on to 2023, then you just get your Yoruba band there, everybody will calm down?
No, even that 2023, I don't think there'll be election.
That is the joker. If it doesn't break before 2023, it's the joker.
See, there's one thing I've come to find out. You see, I don't think there's any type of appease the presidency, the Fulani will do to stop this agitation. I don't see any appease, because number one, the Fulani's agenda right from time.
What if they give NNAMDI Kanu a job? What if they give NNAMDI Kanu a job in the government?
NNAMDI Kanu, hasn't NNAMDI Kanu said they offered him vice president?
No, they didn't offer him anything.
Oh, yes. This is what NNAMDI Kanu said. I'm telling you what he said.
NNAMDI Kanu said he says a lot of things now.
No. NNAMDI Kanu, to the best of my knowledge, he's not someone that says things for saying sake. NNAMDI Kanu, I know.
One man, let me ask you something.
Hold on. Let me make this point and then you can come in. I want Isaac to come in as well, but you can come in. Take 10% of anything that NNAMDI Kanu says and put the rest in the bin. That is the best way to interact with that fella. So Starman, carry on.
No, and then, I take NNAMDI Kanu almost 99%. That 0.1% is due to human factor.
Human factor. Okay, Starman.
Yes, I have watched. You know, before I wasn't listening to that man. Let me not say what made me to listen to him.
He's a prophet.
Then I followed it and found out his truthfulness, consistency. Now, as I said, what I'm seeing now, I like what almost everybody in the house has said. You see, the unity of Nigeria is at stake. Britain, for them to offer the amnesty, they use the word prosecuted IPOP or Igbos or whatever. They know there's fire on the mountain. And they're offering that thing like to mellow down the hearts of the Biafrans. That's why they're offering that thing.
That was a real move. That was a real move by Britain, a real political move to offer security, because they've identified they're offering it only to Biafrans. So that is a real message that's been sent. So let's hear from Starman and then Isaac. So Starman, you were about to say something, then we'll go to Isaac. And I'm not sure if our speaker, Speak Truth, is still with us, but Starman, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you want Nigeria to remain, or do you want Nigeria to break up? One more.
Well, my first desire, of course, I think I've said this before, my first desire has always been and only will be for ODUDUA Republic, of course, but maybe not ODUDUA, Yoruba land, whatever, Yoruba hegemony, that's my own thing, because of course I'm an Oyo man, so that has by instinct to be my want. But then, of course, the idea of a Nigeria that works, I'm not anathemic to that, because the idea of a Nigeria that works is one of the most glorious things that you can imagine. It's a beautiful thing if you get a Nigeria that works. Just imagine a Nigeria that actually works.
We've all imagined it. We've all imagined and dreamed it.
No, so that is what I want.
Do you think it can happen? And
well,
how?
I think it can happen. There's no such thing as impossible.
How? With the current situation on ground today, how is Nigeria going to change?
By a recalibration of mindsets.
that is not possible, though. That's not
it is possible. The minds can be recalibrated.
A recalibration of
mindsets.
Wait. And are you talking of recalibrating the minds of the Northerners as well?
Everybody.
You want to recalibrate Islam?
No, not Islam. Not Islam. Understand. You see, the thing for me in Nigeria especially is that a lot of people, they just think that it's game playing. A lot of people, and especially in the northern region, they don't really see this idea of this Nigerian thing, because they see themselves more as Fulanis, etc. And if you listen to Buhari all the time, when he's talking to his counterparts in the Niger Republic, he will say that their history remains unbroken, even with the intrusion of colonization. And he's saying that the 1,500 kilometers that demarcates the country is not a demarcation. So what he's saying in essence, when he says this all the time, he even said this 2 days ago when the new president of the country of our Niger Republic came to pay homage to him in Abuja. They keep on saying that the 1,500 kilometers that is the border between those two countries is not really a border. So what he's saying in essence is that he has no concept that there's anything that distinguishes the countries. So that then tells you that they don't really buy into the idea of Nigeria, but then the oil in the Middle Belt is so plentiful and so giving. Can you imagine what life would be like for somebody like Buhari taken outside of the Nigerian situation? It would have been, this is a man that has no functioning or use for anything, you know. So a lot of them, that recalibration that I am talking about is if people actually buy into the idea of a Nigeria, especially the Northerners, and they actively then work towards the well-being of that country, then you will see just a rapid switch. It's just like a reset and reboot sort of a situation. So that is the recalibration that I'm talking about. A change in the mindset that buys into the, and especially the Nigerian politician is the one that really needs to be recalibrated. Because of course.
And how many years do you think it will take to recalibrate the minds in the North?
No, a change of mind is a change of mind. You can be a smoker and then just suddenly stop smoking. You can be a drinker and suddenly stop drinking. So a change of mind is a change of mind.
Do you think you can recalibrate the whole North within 10 years?
No, you don't have to break them. You have to, I'm talking about a realignment. So I'm not quite sure.
Listen, the North is lost in their Islam. I mean, these people want Sharia.
Islam.
Forget Islam.
The North is not the only. They are Muslim. They There are Muslim Igbos. Nedumoko, the Regina Daniel's husband, he's a Muslim. So there are plenty of Muslims everywhere.
Yeah, but let's hear from sway opinion down south.
Let's hear from Isaac, because we've not heard enough from Isaac. Isaac, what says you to this general conversation?
I think the only problem we are having right now, Nigeria can work, as you said, if we really go back to the original foundation of Nigeria, which basically the Constitution of maybe 1957 or 1967. We can see how US is operating, because each state have their own law that guide them. So, take for instance somebody who committed a crime in California, they will hold him in California. They are not going to send him to Washington to be prosecuted. So, if every state has their own law, and no, you will see that no Hausa man will come to Ondo State or come to Lagos State and commit crime, and somebody in Abuja will be telling the governor to bring him to Lagos. So these are the fundamental problems we are having. That is why Nigeria is not working, and that is why it's not going to work. Like Starman said, we cannot, to fix Nigeria, it will take another 1,500 years. So that is why right now everybody just have to go.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because
talk about that. Talk about that process. What's that process for that 1,500 years?
Because a lot of things are already damaged. So
right, like what? Like what?
Like we're talking of the whole system generally.
No. Give examples. Give examples.
Okay, like road, just basic amenities. Road,
right. That's 10 years. That's 10 years. That's 10 years.
10 years.
Everything that you are saying can be fixed in 10 years.
It cannot be done in 10 years.
Why not?
Because I believe so. That is what I believe.
No. You can't say that. If the funds are there, Nigeria can afford it because we have the money. If the political will is there to do all those things, they'll be done in 10 years. This is why I'm saying that it's a recalibration that we need. Let's acknowledge. Sorry, yeah, go on.
I'm sorry.
Joe will say you, but let's go on.
I'm not going to agree with you. It cannot be fixed in 10 years because a lot of things already damaged that. You don't know how long. You don't know how long. It is just like a house. You build a house. You see one of the roof is gone. You didn't fix it. Then the second roof gone. You didn't fix it. Everything just pile up till everything scatter. That is exactly what is going on in Nigeria right now. The money you are talking about, are they going to use all the money they get in a year to fix the road?
No, if they dedicate the monies that is ascribed to specific things to actually carry out those things, then Nigeria, over the course of 10 years, can turn it around. Let's hear Joel. Joel, hello, introduce yourself and tell us where you stand in the conversation. Joel, you're up.
Well, I just joined you guys now because, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, this situation, I'm receiving myself back. I don't know what's going on there.
Yes, because you're listening. So if you turn off your device or use a headphone.
I'm using my laptop. I don't know.
Yeah, then plug your headphone into your laptop and just speak. So just plug your headphone into your laptop and just speak.
And pause the original YouTube page.
I took it off.
Pause the original YouTube page. Only listen to the StreamYard page.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on. I'll just make sure everybody else is on mute. All right. Okay, go on. Is that better? I think it was coming from Starman, actually. Oh, can you speak now?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think it was coming from Starman. Carry on.
So, one man, where do you stand about Nigeria? Because I've been hearing a lot of stories and a lot of killings back in Africa, in Nigeria. So,
in what context? What is the context for that question?
Because I don't know. I didn't start with you guys, but in what context?
So when you ask me where I stand regarding Nigeria, that's a broad question. So do you want to narrow it down to exactly what the question is?
Well, I'm not in support of one Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm not in support of one Nigeria.
What are you in support of?
I like what NNAMDI Kanu is doing, but we can't do it alone. We have to have alliance, either the Yoruba people to join the Igbos with the middle belt, so that we can be able to have a revolution, because we don't need a war. People need to come together. Now the UK is offering the Ipob asylum. That's a good step. They now know that the Ipob is not terrorist. So anybody speaking against the asylum thing and other part of it is not worthy. But what I want to do is that if our people will come together with the Yoruba, the Middle Belt, and stop doing saboteur and say the truth, so that we can call for referendum. That's the only thing I suggest that will happen, instead of killing each other, going to police station, burning them, doing all those things. It doesn't help us. It cannot help us.
Because those are infrastructures in your space anyway that you're burning down. It's not, if you burn down some federal hospital in your state, it is in your state that hospital is being burnt down. The fact that it's federal government, so we have to be thinking. But just in terms of what you have said, yes, the agitation for secession is something that is going on within the Nigerian space. So how coordinated is it? I don't know. Because of course, take for instance, Sunday Igboho, he was in an interview once, they were asking him that does he align himself with what NNAMDI Kanu is doing? And he's saying that he doesn't really know anything about NNAMDI Kanu, that they are doing their own thing over there, but his own desire is for Yoruba land and Yoruba land alone. But irrespective of if he aligns himself with NNAMDI Kanu or not, if he's mounting, and I'm not saying that Sunday Igboho is the leader of anything, but it's certainly one of the voices that is echoing within that space at the moment. But irrespective of if there's a synergy or not, if the pressure is equal for all of these separate ones, it can still break the back of the structure, is effectively the thing. So if the Yorubas are pushing hard for that, their Yoruba land, and even if they are saying they are either doing it in conjunction with the Ipob, not the Ipob, because Ipob is just an organization, but with the Biafran movement. So if they are saying they are doing it in conjunction with the Biafran movement, or they are saying they are doing it as a standalone ones, if they are pushing it hard, and the Biafrans are pushing it hard, and then the middle belt are saying, hang on a minute, you can't leave us with these people, and they start to push it hard, you won't even need a war. It will get to a point that people will just walk away and say, okay, we are just declaring our country. They go to the United Nations and register it and say what will happen. Who is going to stop us? Because if you are telling 40 million Igbos that they want to form their country and they can't, the Igbo land is bigger than, if you combine Togo, Igbo land is bigger than Ghana, in population size. I don't know, I'm just guessing now, but I can imagine.
It's even bigger than Canada, because Canada right now.
There you go. There you go. So what are you talking? You are talking 40 million people. You say they can, of course they can form their country. So yes, I am in favor of that as well. So I am in favor of secession. That I would like to see, but I am also maybe if the reality is more like a restructuring, then that I would like to see as well. But certainly, I don't think anybody on this planet still thinks that this dispensation that we have in situation at the moment has any future. So it's dead on arrival, and it's just really for the caretakers or the undertakers to come and take it away. So Nigeria, as we know it, is finished, but then what happens next is the question. So that is how I am positioned. I hope that answers your question, Ajo.
Yeah, thank you.
And where do you stand? How do you stand? Okay. All right. Joel, reflect on that. Let's bring Professor Data. Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you guys. And all he said is, I like what Joel said. He spoke well. But the only thing, as I keep saying, you know, the government has let this thing go too bad. You know, I think the last time I spoke with you, I said something, and that thing is true. I said the situation of Nigeria is like the country wants to disintegrate. They're using rope to tie it from disintegration. Now it tore. Now they use that same rope to tie again. You know, when a rope tears, its size reduces. Now you use that reduced size rope to tie back the country. It breaks, it breaks, it breaks. The rope is becoming shorter, 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 and it would not hold the thing it ought to hold. The president, I don't like using the word president, but the presidency which they prefer to be used is not doing what he ought to do. Instead of him to bring, you see, negotiate with Ipob, you don't want to negotiate. Negotiate with ODUDUA, you don't want. All you want to do is to enforce.
Who will Ipob be speaking for to negotiate with them?
Who will
Ipob be speaking for?
Will be speaking for?
Yes.
For now, they're not ready to do that. Initially, that was NNAMDI.
Hold on. You are saying negotiate with Ipob. So who will Ipob be speaking for?
Ipob will be speaking for the indigenous people of Biafra. Who else are these?
But they are not, though, are they? They are not the voice of the indigenous people of Biafra because they are not the largest representation in terms of, I mean, Ohaneze Indigbo is the voice of our Indigbo.
Now, let me tackle what you want to say with Ohaneze. Now, let me tell you, Ohaneze should have been. But when Ohaneze is dining with the Fulanis, people have now seen that Ohaneze is not playing the role they ought to play. They are dining with the Fulanis. That is why people are following NNAMDI Kanu. Sorry to say it. If there's someone in this show that mentioned Mayego's diary.
What about Mossab? What about Mossab?
Okay, Mossab. Okay, now let me tell you the problem of Mossab. The leader was Uwazurike. Uwazurike's problem was after he was in prison, he lacked the zeal to forge ahead. That's the difference between him and NNAMDI Kanu. Not only that.
Asari Dokubo?
Asari Dokubo's case is this. What I know of, the little I know of Asaribo, I think Asaribo was in charge of Avengers. Now you're all aware, Asaribo Dokubo they declared Biafra customary government. I'm sure you're aware of that. Yes. Asari Dokubo, so you see, that is like a customary thing. That is, even though I don't know much of politics and political terms, that is not like declaring the nation.
Professor Datao, you see, the reasons why I'm throwing all these names at you is to make the point that Ipob is not the spokesvoice of Indigbo. Do you understand? So
okay, I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying.
Even when they say negotiate with Ipob, there'll be a fight amongst all of the.
All these things are political avenue to show that Ipob is not the voice. In United Nations, they recognize the Biafra struggle from the point of Ipob. I hope you know. I hope you're aware of that one.
No, not from the point of Ipob, from the point of Indigbo, or no, of Igbo, not Indigbo, not Ohaneze, but the Igbo family. So
now I want you to, it's still the Ipob, but I want you to see there's something I want you to get. Ipob wants to free all the indigenous people within that enclave of Southeast, including the 5 key states are Igbo states. We all know that. Now in Delta we have Igbo people there. Edo.
Are we doing 2 rapper? Is it 2 rapper?
Apart from two rapper, it is clear. What is the meaning of Benin City? Do you know the original meaning of the original name of Benin City? Mingodo.
Okay.
Do you know?
All right. I think Professor Data, you are going into dangerous territory with that one. Benin City is Yoruba land. You know that Benin City is Yoruba land.
You said
you don't know that Benin City is Yoruba land.
I know Benin City still has linkage with Yoruba, so as with Igbo. Now, what I'm trying to make clear to you is, Ipob still remains the key arrowhead of the Biafra movement.
No, it's the militant wing. It is the militant wing, but not the premier voice. Let's bring Isaac in and then Starman.
It's not a militant wing.
And then speak.
Not a militant wing. You can bring in another person, not a militant. I don't buy the idea. Bring in anybody.
You can come back and disagree, but I just want to sample what others are making of the conversation.
No problem.
We bring Isaac in, and then we bring Starman in, and then we bring Speak Truth in if she's still with us. So who wants to chime in? Isaac, you're up.
Okay, I think based on our discussion, I think I see some loophole in fighting for Biafra nation. What I want to bring out in that is that I think they should form alliance like Masob, Ipob. I think they should be in conjunction with one another. Okay, like take for instance like ODUDUA nation now. Yoruba has different group. We have Afenifere, we have Lanodua and
OPC and all of them.
All this group. The only group that did not join this cause for Yoruba nation is only Afenifere. I don't know if they join undergroundly anyway, but other groups, they all join and form one group that will be fighting for ODUDUA nation and Yoruba nation or whatever they call it. So I think Igbo should emulate that. Masob and other groups should join together. I don't know if they are doing that anyway, but that is what I see in their own case.
I think the egos might be too big. Starman, are you still with us? Starman? Okay, I think Starman might well have stepped away from his computer.
I'm still here.
Yeah, are you following the narrative?
Yes, I've been following. Yeah.
Yeah. So what says
you? There was a question you asked African Wahala where you asked him what purposed the agitation, how far the agitation has come, and I think African Wahala was just being subtle, but I think the agitation has come a long way, especially since after SARS. I think young Nigerians saw that this government, Nigeria died the day they shot Nigerians holding the flag and singing national anthem. And you saw that flag with blood. That was the day Nigeria died. Nigeria died in the minds of many. There is no redemption anymore. And see, I keep saying this. The only way to avoid war in Nigeria now is for everybody to rise up and say, look, we're not doing Nigeria again. As long as you continue cowering, let's see whether we can restructure. Let's see whether this.
So is that not what is happening at the moment? Is that not what is happening at the moment?
There is a war already, but it's a low-level war. You know,
No. What you just said, that the only way to avoid war is for everybody to stand up and say that enough. because the Yorubas are saying enough, the Igbos in generality are saying enough, the Middle Belt are saying enough. So is that not exactly then what you were just saying? Is that not what is already the situation?
Well, that's what's happening, and it's been building. I started building up since after SARS, and you can clearly see that the government that started in disarray is even in more disarray. The Fulanese have now resorted to pure, the power of the media. Coming up with the other time they said, "Oh, we're not ready to restructure, but we must keep presidency." All sorts of nonsense. And I mean, everyone keeps talking about unity, as if unless everybody is united, then nothing will happen. Look.
Can I tell you what Gabachew said yesterday?
Unite. Huh?
Can I tell you what Gabachew said yesterday? Gabachew said yesterday that the clamorings that you're hearing from the eastern quarters is essentially criminals making noise, and the generality of the Igbo people, they do not want Biafra. He went on to say that the generality of the Yoruba people do not want Biafra because most of the leading names in Yoruba land, they have come out to say that they are indeed vested in the Nigerian project. He added that the idea of convoking a national conference is an anatemic to a democratic dispensation because we have a Senate already in place that are seats to the affairs of Nigerians. And if Nigerians want to have any expression, they have to go through their representatives in any of the houses to have that expression. So what does that all translate to, all that gobbledygook? They are telling you to get lost. Get lost is the summary of all of that. So the government is not yielding to anything, and you are saying that there's a shift in the paradigm because the clamorings are getting louder. So clamor is clamor, but what shift is there in the needle is the question.
Look, I mean, 4 years, 4 years ago, it kicked off in Ambazonia, and then it kicked off in Biafra, and then it kicked off in ODUDUA land. It kicked off in Western Togoland, and now, I mean, and now ODUDUA land. All these agitations across West Africa, they are not happening for no reason. And governments, just because governments don't want to yield, does not mean nothing's happening, nothing's going to happen, and there's just agitation for agitation's sake. I was going to say something, I just lost my point. But yeah, look.
What I'm saying is there's no shift in the paradigm. So there is no shift in the paradigm, and the shooting of the people carrying the national flag at SARS should well have been a seminal moment in a nation that is vested in that nationhood. But then, of course, Nigeria is just one criminal enterprise. Nobody gave a FUCK about anybody being shot with the Nigerian flag. So that is what we saw play out and pan out. Who hasn't spoken yet? Sorry, carry on. Make your point, and then we'll speak to.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say something. Now you said Ipob is not the voice of the East.
No, it's not. It's a voice. It's a voice in the East, but not the voice of the East. So there's a distinction.
But okay, now if I say that if we were to take this to vote, line up all the organizations in the East from Ohanese to Ipob to Masob and say, okay, everybody votes which voice represents you. Anyone who thinks Ipob will not take that vote, will not win that vote.
No. You are conflating being loudest with being most popular. And a lot of people make that conflation. But you are conflating being the loudest with being the most popular. The loudest voice is Ipob. Huh?
You think more Igbos go with Ohanese?
Traditionally, look, Ohanese is the stalwart of the Igbo hegemony.
No, Ohanese is a defunct organization. Nobody listens to them anymore or takes them seriously.
No, it's rebracketing for new times, but it's still the voice that for instance, I listen to Ohanese in Igbo.
I mean, if I want to World Congress, who is Ohanese? He's There's Igbo World Congress. There's Ohanese has no influence outside those 5 states in Igbo land.
Yeah, how many states do we have in Igbo land? Is it not 5? Do you have more than 5 states?
Why, is there no Igbo people in Rivers?
Huh?
Is there no Igbo people in Rivers?
If Rivers is south.
Forget it. People in Rivers,
forget
Delta,
it. What about Yoruba? What about Oyo? Is Oyo Igbo land too?
Okay, so does Ohanese speak for the Igbos in Oyo?
Anyway,
does Ohanese speak for the Igbos in Lagos?
No, you are more vested in it than I am, because I am, of course, a Yoruba man. So you probably will know more than me in terms of that. And Professor Data O2 will probably know more. But from my reckoning, as an outsider looking in, the voice that I feel is representative of the Igbos the most is Ohanese.
And you said it, you feel. The voice you feel.
Well, yes.
And people are here telling you that we don't feel Ohanese anymore.
No opinion poll has been sampled. So my opinion is just as an opinion as is yours, because there's no empirical data to back up anything.
But there's Igbo people here telling you that Ohanese has no voice anymore.
It doesn't matter.
Ohanese is just a group of talking heads releasing statements.
There's no poll that has been done to test the popularity of anything. So my opinion is just as subjective as yours, and yours is just a subjective thought too, even though you might be more vested in that environment than I am, because there's no empirical data to back up anything. Let's go to so did you want to come back on that?
Because yes. I mean, Look, I have evidence. I'm not just saying it because it's my opinion or subjective.
Where is the evidence?
All you need to do is go to any time Ohanese make a statement on YouTube or any other social media forum. Just go and read the comments afterwards.
Right.
Just go and read the comments. And then anytime Masob make a video, go and, or Wazrike, go and read the comments afterwards. Anytime NNAMDI or Ipob release a video, then go and read the comments afterwards.
That's not a test of anything. The Ipob followers are
you count head for head before you can say empirically that this is what it is.
No. What you are saying is not a test of anything, because the Ipob members, the Ipob followers, they are a lot younger, they are more technology savvy, and they have a better understanding of that climate. So they know to go to that clamor more. But the Ohanese followers, they are more stately, they are somewhat a lot more middle-aged, and they are more staid and more respectable and conservative. Whereas that's why I always describe Ipob as a militant wing, because there's a lot of militancy. That is why I'm saying you think who shouts the loudest is the most popular, but that is certainly not the criteria.
Okay. So Ipob is younger.
Yes.
We're talking about demographics, right? Ipob is younger.
Right.
What percentage of Nigeria is under 40?
Well, the significant majority, I think, is in the 70s. I'm just
75% of Nigerians are under 40.
Yes.
So if a smaller percentage supports Ohanese,
yes,
and the larger percentage support, what does that tell you?
No. You are conflating. The whole body of Ipob following is entirely young following, but not the entirety of young people are followers of Ipob. There's a equitable distribution of young people across all of the pressure groups within Igbo space, but the entirety of Ipob following is young people.
Okay,
but then
so there's young people that follow Ohanese as well. Are you suggesting that?
Of course.
Okay, so why don't we hear their voices on social media? Why? God, like I said, go and check their videos.
Of course you hear them.
Any young people praising Ohanese.
No, you do hear young voices
one
praising
or
Ohanese.
two out of 100.
No, but yes, because the voice of Ipob is so militant that it subsumes. I mean, you've heard NNAMDI Kanu speak now. It's via fire and brimstone. Even to say good morning is an act of aggression. You know
what? What do you mean militant?
Of course, they're militant.
Listen, it's just
saying that Ipob is not militant.
Listen, it's because this is your show, and I have to.
No.
Speak militant than NNAMDI Kanu.
Speak freely. Forget it.
The problem with Nigerians is that Nigerians, they once they go to school and collect a degree, they assume nobody knows anything more than them anymore, and nobody can teach them anything. And when someone now comes and begins to talk more intelligently than them, their initial instinct is to push back.
Right.
NNAMDI Kanu is giving Nigerians tough love, and all they can say is, instead of them to listen, see, it's a classic case of the genius points at the moon.
Did NNAMDI Kanu finish Asylum-Kanu? Look. No. Answer that question. Because
so
you are vaunting his education now. Did NNAMDI Kanu finish Asylum-Kanu?
So does a degree qualify?
Answer it. No. You brought that in. Did NNAMDI Kanu finish Asylum-Kanu?
I don't know.
You don't know. He did not.
And okay,
where did he go from there? He did not.
Okay, but
what qualifications does NNAMDI Kanu have for you to vaunt him as an intellectual? Because I'm not aware that he has any qualifications.
So because he didn't finish at Nsukka, he's not an intellectual.
No, you are the one vaunting it. You brought intellectualism. You are saying because somebody is better educated and more articulate, so you brought that in, and the guy that you're championing, he did not even finish.
Are you saying NNAMDI Kanu is not an intellectual or not articulate?
Well, what criteria are you using to define intellectualism?
If not for NNAMDI Kanu, a lot of Nigerians wouldn't even know their history.
All right. Is he a historian?
Well, he's a damn good teacher of it.
Teacher of what?
If not for NNAMDI Kanu, a lot of Nigerians will not know their history.
Like what history? What has it brought to the fore? No. Because you tend to jump from those points. What history has he brought to the fore that was not in common parlance before? What new knowledge has he brought to the equation?
NNAMDI Kanu took his time.
No. You see, you are dancing around.
Combed the history. The history was there, but Nigerians were too lazy to go look it up.
No. But
he took his time, combed the history, and presented it to Nigerians, opened their eyes.
Oh God!
I mean, see, NNAMDI Kanu, he'll be giving Nigerians tough love. And instead of them to listen to the message he's giving, all they can complain about is that
what tough love?
He's too insulting.
No. You're dancing around. Starman, you are dancing around in ambiguity. You are not really. I'm asking you what wisdom he has brought forward. You cannot say one. You are saying he's doing tough love. What tough love? Is he shouting a fulefu all the time that is tough? What exactly is the what is it that you're saying? What knowledge are you saying he has brought forward?
Fraud that is Nigeria more than anybody else has ever
cite done. Examples. You are still talking in hyperboles. Don't talk in hyperboles. You are talking in hyperboles. I'm asking you to learn. No. I'm asking. Look, when you were no. I don't have anything against NNAMDI Kanu, but when you were talking about something that you were passionate about before, you were reeling out facts and figures. But now that you're talking about something that you are not sounding as though you're fully convinced of, you are dancing around the edges, speaking in speculations and in hyperboles, and being deliberately obfuscating and generally just trying to mystify us with fanciful language. What exactly is this guy? What new thing are you saying he has brought into the equation? Is my question. So you address that and then press the point and don't dance around.
As you see, the history was always there. Nigerians didn't bother to look up on it, even when they had internet. Yeah, they didn't teach them history in school, but they could have logged on. Like a tiny few Nigerians did research the history on their own, but no, they'll be on Facebook and social media. Now, NNAMDI Kanu realized that this lack of history is a big problem. He got on radio and exposed so many things from angles and perspectives about the fraud that Nigeria is.
Like what? Harry said.
Look, what you want me to give?
Dead, yes. Buhari is dead and is in a shadow.
Is that the only thing he said?
No. Well, I'm asking you what he said, and you're not coming up with anything. You're just highfalutin and and dancing around.
Start quoting one or two statements he made. I mean,
Yes,
the
yes.
videos are all there on the internet for everybody.
There you go. Okay, let's bring Prime in. Prime, you're up. Say hello and tell us where you stand. And we've got Cyril with us as well. So Prime, you first, and then Cyril.
One man, you're not bringing me in to say it. I'm here to disrupt all of these people talking.
Anyway, that is what we want. Let's have it. Let's have it. Let's have it. We are ready.
I think one man, I think you should shoot at least out of, maybe you have something against NNAMDI Kanu.
No, forget all that. Don't personalize anything. How do you mean?
I can make my point. Me, I was looking at, when people were talking about, these people in Nigeria, you guys like plenty education, PhD, that is looking for truck driver work at Dangote. I don't know what that is, but I looked up NNAMDI Kanu on Wikipedia, and I saw that he graduated from Nsukka, but beyond that, he also he's lived in the UK. We may not have the detail of his curriculum vitae on his resume, but he doesn't sound to you like somebody who is not articulate, somebody that is not educated, somebody that is not enlightened. You should give him credit. At least all the
I did not bring that up, by the way. I did not bring that up. Starman brought it up. Starman was saying we should have deference for his intellectualism, and then querying his credentials. So I never brought that up. Starman brought that up. But you make your point so we can get Cyril to chime in as well. Prime.
Yeah, but however, you guys,
Oh, he's left. Cyril, what are you making of it? I did not do anything, by the way. You can come back. He left. So you can come back, Prime. Cyril, hello. What are you making of it all?
Thank you very much for bringing me in. So I've been following up with the conversation right from the very start. And I've been enjoying it so much. A lot of education, a lot of enlightenment I've gotten from the platform. But at this point, what you guys are discussing, which has to do with the most prominent group in the eastern part of Nigeria. I'm not an Igbo person, but I've been following closely. I can say vehemently with all certainty that the most prominent voice in the East as it stands now is the Ipob voice, chaired by the person of NNAMDI Kanu.
Okay.
It is written all over the print, and you can have it even unquestionable, because if it's not the leading voice, if that group is not the leading voice, I don't see why the government will be so particular about the group, whereas you have some other agitators agitating for almost the same thing. It is because of the dominance of that voice. It's not because it's the loudest alone, because it's the most popular. By mere looking,
I was going to push you on that actually.
You can see this is the most popular voice there, and even the governors. I'm going there now. Even the governors of the state.
No, I was going to push you on that. To qualify. Oh God, why are people dropping? I did not do anything to. Why are people dropping? I did not remove anybody, and please come back just to have your final thoughts. But we start taking those final thoughts now as we do seek to round off. So, Starman, give us your parting shots, and I promise to come back tomorrow to continue this conversation. So, Starman, give us your parting remarks.
Yeah, I think Nigerians, we should listen more to. Yeah, it's like I saw in the comments, someone mentioned Sunday Igboho. I mean, the guy is articulate. He knows what he's talking about. But to Sunday Igboho is, but to say that, where's Sunday Igboho's degree? The guy knows what he's talking about.
No, Starman, you brought that point up. So don't hang it on me. You were trying to.
This is not about degree.
Well, there you go. You brought the point up though. So and I labeled it. So I interrogated the point. So you brought it up to say that because he's more intellectual and of a superior mind, people are not deferring to him. So then we, of course, then we questioned his credentials. So you actually brought that point up, but then of course it did not hang. But then carry on, just give us your parting remarks, and then I promise to come back again because you've made it quite entertaining.
Yeah, I think Nigerians need to open their minds more to the people clamoring for secession. It's not for fun. It's not a joke. The fundamental structure of that place is just wrong, and to think that we can somehow get it right, we can somehow restructure. See, to reconfigure Nigeria will take generations, not just 10 years. It would take at least 2-3 generations, dedicated, not haphazard. Oh, let's just see. No, dedicated. It would take 2-3 generations at least. And what a lot of us are missing is that, look, we don't have to wait 2-3 generations. It will be easier to do this in our own homelands for ourselves. Look, one man, I bet you're in your 40s. Yeah, same here. If we break Nigeria today, there's still a chance that those of us, especially those of us in our late 30s and early 40s, can still achieve a part of those dreams we had when we were kids to own our own companies and do this and do that. That's not going to happen in Nigeria in 10 years. Man, like someone mentioned earlier, you get a degree and you're driving Dangote truck. Is that whose dream was it to drive Dangote truck before they went to university? We still have a chance. Some of us, those of us in our late 30s, early 40s, at least the time it will take you in a new country to help build that country by setting up your own company, we still have a chance to achieve some of those dreams. But if we say, let's fix Nigeria, and one day our children's children, 3 generations, you won't even be there to see whether they fixed it or not. And how do you know another Pantami or Pantamis? How do you know Pantami hasn't groomed his own children?
Okay. Starman, you definitely have to come back tomorrow because I don't think we've even heard 2% of what you have to offer. So definitely we'd like to hear your voice, certainly to give you more chance, because I think there's a lot of expressions still to come. So we'll say thank you here and look forward to you coming back fairly soon, because of course, this is the longest we've ever gone, and this is really because of you and pretty much everybody on the panel. So, and we could still go on and on because I think everybody still has a lot to say. But of course, as ever, the pressure of time. So that is Starman is quite fixed in his views and he expresses them superbly, eloquently. So we go on to Professor Data O. So the same principles apply as we seek to round off. So give us your parting remarks as well, and then you promise us then that you'll come back and join us again.
Okay, my remarks is very simple. As I said, I repeat, Nigeria has come to the situation of the rope used to bind the country is being broken, and the person in charge is not caring about it.
You and this your rope, sir?
Yes, that is the truth. Now, the aspect of disintegration is just clear. They should let these people that want to go. They should stop hiding, playing hanky-panky game. That is what I believe. There's still a tendency after the disintegration to join again. After all, if Germany and West Germany still came back as a nation again.
Lights, let me find you. This thing is dangerous.
That's what I have to say.
You can't drink this.
I've spoken. Hello?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, thank you, Professor Data O. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yes, thank you, Professor Data O. Of course, a friend of the show. So I'm sure over the course of the week, I'm sure I will say something that will annoy you again, that you say, I have to go online and correct that man. So we look forward to seeing you again. Of course, you are now
No problem.
a regular face.
I welcome whatever anybody says, you know.
Yes.
So that you win an argument with me does not bring.
I've not won any argument. Oh, we both stated our position.
The truth is too powerful. Or the Fulanis don't want to recognize the truth of the matter in this nation. They just are going on lying and doing things. Someone will go and negotiate to bandits in the bush.
Yes,
and you say we're united. It's not true, my brother.
Promise us that you come back and explain that truth to us more in the future.
No problem. No problem. As far as there's time.
Okay, thank you. So that's Professor Data O, quite clear in his views as well. He often joins us when he feels moved to. We go next to sorry, bear with me. We go next to Speak Truth. Speak Truth, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, we're just gathering final remarks and closing thoughts. So what would you like us to take away from this session? What's your takeaway, parting remarks?
I don't know. Why did it took you so long to bring me into this whole thing? Why?
No, because
is it because it's my is it because I'm here for the very first time? Because I don't even understand how to get into the whole thing.
Well, this is the thing. You have to come back. Accept my apologies, but we are getting a lot of bounce back from your system because I think you're listening back. So, and a lot of people are actually coming to me on the site to say, we're getting a lot of bounce back, but apologies anyway.
What is bounce back? When you don't understand something, you have to ask. You have to ask.
That's fair enough.
I'm trying to tell you that I don't understand. I don't understand this whole thing, how it works. It's my first time, so you can teach it to me.
Yeah, you see, when you are on the session, the best thing to do is to put a headphone in your device, so that way you can still hear what is going on, but it's not bouncing back against your system, and then it's reverberating, and then it makes the quality poor. So that's just the thing. It's just like you said. It's just really using a headphone.
I heard everything everybody has been saying from the beginning of the whole thing. I heard everything.
You can hear, but when we speak to you, when you watch back, maybe you see it. I am hearing my voice now as I'm speaking to you, and that is really where the thing is. So just use a headphone is really the point. But give us what would you like us to take away from this session? Just like a closing remark?
Yeah. When Nigerians, we Nigerians be talking issues about Nigeria, we talk like the people who are in Nigeria. Are they Ugandans? Are they Kenyans? They are Nigerians. It's a thing of mentality. The mentality of the people has to be changed. That's all I know. So nobody's gonna do it except Nigerians will do it. And I think a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. You can't do nothing if you guys are all divided like this. I'm agitating for this group. I'm agitating for this group. When you break yourself into different segments like that, you give them the upper hand to continue to rule you. People have to come together and intelligently seek to find a solution to an issue. It's not by agitating all over the place, because this is democracy. It's not a feudal system of government, which is what I think applies in the Nigerian context. They're still operating the feudal system of government, and they're calling it democracy. That's not democracy. But Nigerians are the ones to bring about the change that they seek. And the only way you can bring about this change, there is strength in diversity. They are not able to even see the strength they have in that diversity, but they're seeing it as excuse me. So they're not seeing the strength that we have in this diversity of different languages and culture and people. So by the time we start seeing ourselves as one family that is already divided against itself, I don't see any headway, because agitating for this and that will continue to go on. I'm telling you, for real.
Okay, well said. Before we let you go, you have to promise us that you will come back because we probably need to hear a lot more from you. And as you said, you did not get full expression in this session. So promise us that you will come back before we let you go.
I definitely am very, very concerned about the problem in the country, and that's why I want to lend my voice in any way that I can. So
okay, thank you. So that is Speak Truth. She's promised to come back, and like she said, she did not really get the full expression. But then I was trying to introduce her in the conversations, but maybe I didn't do it properly, so I will have to take the blame for that. But I do hope she keeps her word and comes back, because that's a voice definitely that we need to hear a lot more from. So Cyril, you're up next. Parting words. You get fuller space to express yourself, because you've just come in and you've not really had the chance to say anything. So Cyril, you're up next.
Okay, I think I'll take this line from the legend Bob Marley song, where he said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourself can free your own self. I think majorly everything we are discussing now is bent and anchored on mental slavery. From the point of the religion and the point of the Nigerian state, it's just mental slavery. Even those of us who are so eloquent in expressing ourselves, you can still see a trace of that slavery. You can still see the colonial mentality in us, such that it is how much of expression the Englishman's language you can speak that one looks at to say this is an intelligent person, because you can speak the English language, which is not even your language. So now my remark is on the issue of Ada, Jesus, and the other pastor, and what had that happened around them, to say that people should try and sit down, not even pick up the Bible, not even pick up the Quran, sit down and question nature. Look at things, personally, individually. Try to review things around you to come to a conclusion. I'm a Christian. That's what I do often. That's why there are a lot of things I don't agree with that I read from even the Bible that I believe in as a Christian. And I took our time to also read the Quran from cover to cover 3 times. And there are a lot of things I don't also believe in it, because I could look at my society, my environment. It's closer to me than the story of 2,000, over 2,000 years ago. So we should look in close and see how it works, so we can be able to emancipate ourselves from that shackle, religious shackles. As regards to the Eastern problem, the Nigerian question, and the truth of the matter is that the solution, the best solution to a problem like this, is for them to be a convergence of these different interests, and let there be a position. In case where it is impossible, the agitation should be for cessation, because it is not natural. It is a union that is as young as just about 60-something years old, as the ethnic groups that makes up this union are many years past this union called Nigeria. If it's not working because there is a group that wants it to remain the way it is, even when they know it's not working, but they want this particular status quo to remain because it works for them, the few elites there, and it works for their system, then people should agitate to pull out from the union, because if the marriage is not working, the best thing to do is to file divorce. I think I'm going to be ending on that note. File for a divorce. If the husband refuses to shift grounds and the wife also refuses to shift ground, then you file for a divorce. That's my conclusion.
Thank you, Cyril.
And at one point before he goes.
Yeah, go on. Hello?
I have a point.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, just one point. I sense your... Though I've been listening to you for a very long time, I know where your biases is coming from when the issue of NNAMDI is mentioned. I have avoided it. Even during time of Showere, I was also following your channel. I could see your biases. I could see the way you're wired. I could see the things you prefer, the terminologies or the style, the methodology rather that you prefer that things should be handled with. So I know where your bias is coming from. That's the reason most times I don't often delve into it when you're trying to express it. So
yes.
In that regard, I think maybe one of these days, I know you'll be coming up with a topic that really give me the opportunity to express myself more on that.
Yes, yes. And please just come earlier. You know, when we are like 2 hours in, we are now 3 hours in. Can you imagine that? And the time has just flown by. Thanks for Isaac. If Isaac wasn't here now, that just abandoned ship. But I come earlier. But just to speak to what you're saying, because a lot of people conflict. That I talk a lot about NNAMDI Kanu on this channel, of course, as I talk a lot about a lot of things on this channel. You have to understand. But I do talk a lot about NNAMDI Kanu because, as I said, it's a recurring decimal within the Nigerian space. And almost every news, as I peruse the news to see what to present, there's always some very strong NNAMDI Kanu storyline that I know will chime with people. So I do talk about him a lot, and I do talk about him in a particular way. But the way I talk about NNAMDI Kanu is no different from the way I talk about Showore. I don't especially categorize Showore any more than I categorize NNAMDI Kanu, because I just see them as a bunch of, I'm not convinced, by these two elements, and I really put them in the same bracket. And I pretty much use the same language in the direction of maybe Buhari, Tinubu, etc., maybe harsher, but it is not the singularity of NNAMDI Kanu. But what I have noticed is that when you are a bit critical of NNAMDI Kanu, immediately the appellations start to come out. You're anti this, you're anti that. I say endlessly, almost to the point that I'm almost sound like I'm defending myself. My best friend is an Igbo girl. Ijoma, she's my best friend. The culture that I admire the most is the Igbo culture. I'm a Yoruba man, and I'm saying that's the culture that I admire the most is the Igbo culture. And I admire the Igbo village culture specifically, not the totality of the Igbo culture, but the Igbo village culture, especially as it's romanticized in Nollywood. I just love the vibe and feel of it. So there's nothing at all, but the specificity of what that guy says in instances and the ludicrousness of Buhari is in a shallow grave and then silicon mask. How can anybody with a brain not recoil from that? It's just a total nonsensity. But then what really concerns me is that a lot of people who might be gullible or desperate are subsumed by this narrative, and it's actually costing human lives. So there's a lot at stake there, other than, you don't like MKN because it's this, that, and I don't really care one way or the other about the fella. I wish him well, especially in the Biafra agitation, because I want Biafra too. But of course, anyway, I think you get the gist of it. But of course, I'll express it more as you push me more with further interaction. So that's Cyril. Cyril came late, so he didn't get the chance to fully express. Isaac, I won't come to you next because I know if I come to you now, you run away and just leave me here by myself. So I'll bring Gong in, who's just joined us, just to say a quick word. So Gong, unmute yourself, say hello, just say your piece, and then because we're now seeking to round off. So Gong.
Yes, thank you for adding me. I guess I came late, so I'm going to keep it very brief.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, but I think I also noticed I have the same observation regarding how you say things regarding MNK, that's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Not that anyone is trying to take prevent you from your opinion and all of that. But I think you're doing it for certain reasons. One, you're a journalist, and whenever you shout the Ipob and Biafra thing, you get a lot of attraction, and then you have that audience that will make your platform warm. And additionally, your last statement, I don't know, like when I hear people make that argument, it sounds really funny. Like when you catch a white racist and you say, "Hey, dude, you're racist," and he tells you, "No, I have black
my best friend
family
is black. Yes,
my
my
black,
best friend is
exactly.
black.
It's a pantami. Why you this? My driver is Christian. So when you go
Yes.
back to tell us that your girlfriend is Ipob, I mean,
No, she's not my girlfriend actually, and that's the
you said
funny
your
thing.
best.
My best,
You say your best
yeah,
friend, right? Your best friend,
yeah,
is Ibo,
yeah.
right? All right. So it's but
because
anyway,
I have a wife. I'm a married man. Yeah.
Exactly. Congratulations to you. But anyway, shall make I know take any more of the time. I go like come the show next time. We will continue the gist.
Yeah, come earlier. You know, there's a lot to discuss. So thank you, Gong. He's just came just to say a quick hello, but he knows that we've run out of time, so he was quite understanding of that. Isaac. So 2 ways we can go about this, Isaac. I have one last story because I advertised 3 stories and I have to keep to them. So I can either just go through that story quickly or take your word and then go through that story. So how would you like us to play it out, Isaac?
You can go through the story, then I will.
Okay, you round it off. Okay. So the last narrative that was advertised, of course, is the Yorubas are chiming in support of the British move to grant asylum to the Ipob movement. So here is that headline: Yoruba group applauds UK for granting Ipob Mossab members asylum. So I just quickly skimmed through this. Yoruba One Voice, which is a new organization to me. I don't think I've come across them before, but Yoruba One Voice, YOV, an association of Yorubas in diaspora, has applauded the United Kingdom government for granting asylum to members of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, and the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, Mossab. YOV, in a statement by its publicity secretary, Princess Omoladun. I'm not going to attempt her last name because, as you know, I'm notoriously bad with names. So Princess Omoladun said the UK has shown and demonstrated great interest in Nigeria, especially with the growing spate of insecurity across the country. Princess Omoladun, bear with me. Princess Omoladun appealed to the United Kingdom government to work on modalities for an all-inclusive referendum that will lead to the actualization of ODUDUA Republic. The YOV spokeswoman said the call for self-determination and the actualization of ODUDUA Republic remains pertinent, adding that Nigeria, being a former colony of the United Kingdom, should be saved from being plunged into chaos, saying that the present situation in Chad led to the death of Idris Deby. She admitted also that the situation in Nigeria is even worse than what is happening in Chad Republic. It is unfortunate that our leaders don't even know when to call it quits when their time is up. The chaos in Chad is a signal to Nigeria, and it is sad that the federal government is shying away from the reality of the present situation. Nigeria's situation is even worse than what is playing out now in Chad, where rebels are threatening the peace of about 16 million people, as well as the sovereignty of the country. She said, the federal government must be wise enough to know that those agitating for self-determination are doing so legitimately, because from the reports reaching us abroad, our people back home in Nigeria are tired of the situation where lives has no value following the activities of Boko Haram, bandits, and killer headsmen. The princess also cited the case of former Czechoslovakia, pointing out that the dissolution of the country took effect in January 1, 1993, leading to the historic and self-determined split of the Federal Republic of Czechoslovakia into the sovereign and independent countries of Czech Republic and Slovakia. We cannot continue to deceive ourselves that Nigeria is one and indivisible. Agitation for the actualization of ODUDUA Republic did not start overnight. It was as a result of protracted suffering of Nigerians following reports of insecurity, including political and economic instability, social crisis, injustice, and clear nepotism. A section of the country lords it over others. creating feelings of mischief and distrust between the leaders and the followers. It is as bad as that. She berated the federal government's declaration that there is no need for national conference to address core problems, plunging the country and those agitating for such conference should channel their grievances to the National Assembly, currently in the process of amending the 1999 Constitution. The presidency needs to be tutored that the present agitation across the country are constitutional, and those agitating are doing so very well, bearing in mind that it is their legitimate right to seek self-determination, especially now that it is obvious that the federal government has failed in its responsibility. It has never been so bad as it is presently in this country. For instance, in the Southwest, Amotekun was established in the region in response to the alarming rate of security challenges in the region. All the 6 governors of the Southwest rose to the occasion with Amotekun. Even at that, the security outfit is yet to find its foot. She stated, so sorry I had to rush through that, but we would not have time to fully reflect on that. But that was just the delivery, just really to deliver the last story that I did promise. So we'll take our Isaac sounding now as we now seek to round off. So Isaac.
Thank you for having me. In order to, I'm going to combine what you just read plus with my concluding part of the whole discussion. So okay. Now, as you said, that is it one voice, Yoruba one voice, right?
Yes, that's the new organ. I've never come across their name before, but that is what they are calling themselves. Yoruba One Voice, YOV.
Okay, as they said, we can see the level of marginalization in the country. So it has never been like this before. It has never been like this, and people are tired of hearing story from our politicians. Let me put it that way. We've been so duped for a very long time. We'll be so lied. They lied to us in so many ways, and there is no improvement. So it shows that people are tired of all this crap, with what is going on and killing every day. Could you remember that 2 days ago, the National House of Assembly, they want to pass a law that we compel Nigeria to register any animal that is coming into the country, then that will be going out of the country. So they want to have a law to that the registration will be compulsory. They want to create a database for animal. Why the citizen? There is no database for citizens of Nigeria. So how could country run like that? So it is not going to work. And I'm going to reply back to tell the truth? Let me see here. Okay, speak the truth. She mentioned that Nigeria is good when they are combined together, but Hausa Fulani don't want that. It will be so good if we can all reach consensus to live together in a peaceful way. But Hausa Fulani don't want that. They don't want that. So the best thing is for everybody to go in their separate way. If somebody marries somebody and the marriage is not working, then you have to divorce and go on your way. That is my final thought.
Okay, brilliant. Isaac, as ever, always sends from Isaac, and he, of course, always rounds it off with a sensible remark. So that is Isaac, a friend of the show. Now, anybody that's been following these sessions will know that Isaac is a regular fixture because he always makes time to come and share his time with us. And we hope that continues as we say goodbye to Isaac. And as we now seek to round off, well, I'll just take a few comments now because we are just now really beyond the limits in the times that we usually spend on this sessions. So let's take it from John Rosemary. So John Rosemary, that is quite an unusual name. John Rosemary Okoro. So I'm not quite sure. Even that name alone is a conversation in itself. But John Mary, nevertheless, nobody wants Nigeria again. Nigeria is over. Straight to the point. We don't need Nigeria again because, still the same point by John Mary. Hello, the comments are mostly from Ipob. Yes, we do tend to get that, especially when the headline name is NNAMDI Kanu or Biafra. If you say NNAMDI Kanu and Biafra, you can pretty much predict what the comment section would look like. All right, Ipob is the most popular in the East. So that is the question that we were seeking to interrogate in the discussions. That is it the most popular or the most vocal? Because those are two distinct and different things. Arise continues. NNAMDI Kanu has opened our eyes, but in what way is the question? And I did try to press Starman on that. Arise continues still. One man does not like NNAMDI Kanu. I do tend to get that a lot on this session. Arise still. I am Yoruba. I can understand NNAMDI Kanu. So well done you then for having that understanding. Arise still, you don't need to be educated to be a freedom fighter. I don't think anybody is even remotely suggesting that. Arise continues still. Nigeria is a fraud by NNAMDI Kanu. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe that would have been according to NNAMDI Kanu. I'm guesstimating he's intending to say. Queen Sean, at least he set up a security outfit for his people. So, well, that remains in the realms of speculation, of course. Arise, fraud. I don't know what the fraud is. Gloria, MNK is the only man that is fighting for his people, not the governor. Ohaneze Indigbo, Mossab, Asari, please do not mention MNK's name when mentioning all these Efule. We got into the hour. It took a long time for us to get Efulefu, but we are now getting Efulefus. So, MNK's name, please do not mention MNK's name when mentioning all these Efulefus again. That is insulting to him. So there you are. That is what Gloria has to say. Arise comes back again. Sunday Igboho educated. Well, you know, like a Starman was trying to explain to us, education is a relative term. And it's not just predicated upon paper certification. Hello comes in. All these people defending Malam NNAMDI Kanu are Igbos. Well, that shows consistency. You would expect that. Answer is Ipob. I think that might well be in response to something that was going on in the discussions. John, Rosemary, you this presenter, you are fake. We don't want Nigeria. So that's me told. John Mary comes back again. He still continues. Nigeria must go down, and then he gives the thumb down a hand emoji like they do in WWW wrestling, worldwide wrestling. Queen Sean comes back. The educated ones have failed woefully. So that is her opinion. Collins, the host is seeking relevance by coming here to mention MNK's name. You know as well as we all do that MNK is not in your class. By the way, if you are reasonable, must someone graduate from UNN? So that was a point that was raised. Actually, I'm not getting the lashings for that point, but it is actually Starman that raised intellectualism, and I just pressed it. John Mary continues. We all love. So now you can see what he's saying on your screen. So he's saying we all love Mr. Kanu. So you cannot say anyway. That might well be definitely a misspell, but then of course, how deep is that love when you can't even spell his name? Is the question. Dave, you can't dispute the fact that MNK is educated and articulate. So, well, you know, it is not for me to dispute, nor would I want to dispute it. In fact, so John Rose continues, 60 years, so we are more than 1,600 years for Nigeria to go. I don't know what that means. Arise comes back, Nigeria is on the point of no return. So that is what he thinks. Gloria, Elo Ero, you can stay in your Nigeria with your malams. And for information, MNK can never be a malam because it's a true son of Biafra. And to clarify, she puts in parentheses, Igbo man. So Arise says correct 100%. So I'm assuming that is in agreement with what Gloria has to say. Gloria still not finished. Nigeria is dead forever. Britain, take your asylum and give it to Fulanis because they are the ones looking for people's land to grab. Yorubas, if you want them to grab your land, that is your problem. So that is Gloria making her views clear. And Peter rounds off the session for us. I really support Cyril's point of view. So Cyril, you have a fan there. I hope you're still listening. So the summation of it, the last comment is to chime with your views. So Peter says, I really support Cyril's point of view. Nigeria is a marriage that is not working. The groom is not happy. The bride is not happy as well. And if there is no divorce, it will lead to spousal abuse. Some would say that spousal abuse is already ongoing. But as I said, that has been the session that was, and it has been the longest session that we have now had so far. I keep saying that every day. The ideal thing that I really set out to do is to just do maybe an hour and a half and leave it there. But then, of course, when our opinions start coming in and these discussions grow, then, of course, before we know it, the hours just starts to pile on. But the conversations, of course, do not stop with these live streaming interactions. So let's just take the good morning from Angelina before we round off. So Angelina says good morning. But I was saying the conversation doesn't really stop with this live streaming. This is just the opening salvo. The real conversation should and does in instances take place in the comment section. So we'll end this live stream here. I carry this conversation on in the comment section, but here I say peace.